come in and help tear this down?
Okay.
Unless, would you have any time to be able to do that?
What?
Because we're going to tear down this camera after we're done using it.
I'll just move it out the way. Okay. Like I said,
I'm headed down the side.
I'll give you a call in a second, okay?
Okay. You can do it over there, you can do it over here.
I'll move in.
Okay.
When you're ready for me, I'll move in.
Well, no, you're going to start.
Oh, I am? I thought you were starting.
No, we start together, Dorcan. God knows they don't need to see me on here by
They don't
myself.
want to see me either.
Well, that's a given, but still. You are doing play by
I
play.
don't have makeup on.
Alrighty, we are live, so I'm about to kick it to you guys.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Good evening and welcome to Apple Field. It's game night. For the second time, the Austin College Kangaroos are taking the field here in Sherman, Texas tonight. The Westgate Christian Ravens are in town. Brian Scott, Chuck Licata, and in just a moment we'll introduce our third man in the booth, Kirk Hughes. And Chuck, it's been a tough start to the season, but tonight I think all Austin College fans think tonight may be the night they get off the schneid and get their first win of the season.
Yeah, for hometown fans here would love to see that for Coach Tony Joe White and the Roos. Of course, as Brian alluded to, tough loss here. We had that broadcast, and then, of course, last week they go out and they lose another tough one. So it's been, not the kind of start that you'd like to have this season, but there's, 8, 9 games in the season, so got time to turn things around.
Absolutely. The one thing that I've noticed, and then I'll get your opinion, is in the critical junctures, those 4 or 5 key plays, they haven't gone Austin College's way to this point. Is there 1 or 2 keys that you've seen that if Austin College could get it fixed, that might get these games, because they've been sort of close to swing their way?
Well, a couple things that you and Kirk have talked about, such a young squad, guys trying to get to know each other, guys trying to get the feel for each other. So I think communication on the field and off the field. We saw a couple weeks ago when we had that blocked field goal at the end of the half, the coaching staff called timeout, said, hey, we see a hole, and they found that hole and they were able to block the kick. So kind of stuff like that. And guys just getting comfortable out in the field with each other. I've been down on the sideline. I'll be down there again. Unfortunately, no camera this time, which actually might be good for everybody, but we'll do audio from the sideline. And the one thing I've seen, Brian, the guys just don't look comfortable with each other out in the field. It's just kind of like, okay, when you and I do a broadcast, okay, when you stop talking, I'm ready to start, and I'm going somewhere where you're either going to go or have gone. So it's just getting to know each other, getting a good feel for each other, and really, it's such a old school axiom, teamwork. Let's get some teamwork. Everybody feel comfortable with their roles. If everybody performs their roles, we should see some success.
Absolutely, and something Coach White said this week is that he noticed last week on the trip to Memphis, they only had 6 juniors and a couple of seniors on that bus trip. This is a team of lower classmen, all sophomores and freshmen. Like you said, playing their second collegiate game together, it is taking some time for them to get to know each other. And hopefully we're going to see the fruits of those labors, another week of practice, and actually 2, because they had the bye week last week, come into play today and see some progress, especially with the offense, as Jalen Talton and his team, as he gets more comfortable running the offense.
Right, and you also have the fact that you're playing at home for week 3. And a lot of times college football, week 3, this is kind of that turning point, okay? You really get a feel for each other. You've had a couple games to play with together on the field, off the field, communicate. Hopefully this is the week that everything gels together for the Roos.
And before the conference season starts, it's one final game against Westgate Christian. The Ravens are here. It's not going to count for the standings, but it does matter nonetheless, and it's going to be quite competitive because, as we've seen, Westgate Christian can put up some points.
Yeah, no question. I mean, you saw them taking drills. I mean, they got some quick outs. They got some quick receivers. They've got some speed on that.
You sound like Coach White.
Yeah, right, exactly, yeah. No, they are quick, and they're going to move pretty quick. So this will be a good test for the Roos defense. They can put together, Brian, they can put together a solid first half, take that momentum into the second half. I think things are going to be good for the home team.
Well, that's something they've struggled in, is actually putting together that whole first half, especially at Rhodes College as well, where they trailed 17-3 going into the break. So we're going to send your speed down to the sidelines, where we're going to hear from you all night long. I know you have some things planned down there.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to seeing you, and while you do that, we're going to bring in the second man in our booth, our good friend, former Austin College football player himself, Kirk Hughes. And Kirk, I know you heard some of what Chuck and I were talking about. First of all, welcome back upstairs. Great to have you. And what are you seeing after the first 2 weeks? What do you think are some of the keys to tonight's game if Austin College is going to get that first victory?
Yeah, I think I want to kind of repeat kind of what Chuck said, though. It's just kind of in what you guys were talking about. It's getting to know your players, getting to know, what comes next, what happens. We saw in that first game, the first 3 drives by the offense was very, the offensive line was in sync. They were blocking, they were getting holes. The running back, Barrett Hudson, was open, and the holes were open. He was hitting them, knew where to be. After the first 3 series, this team looked really good, right, to start off the game. And then there were some mistakes that just kind of creeped in, and as those mistakes creeped in, I think sometimes mentally that kind of set into the Roos mentality, and then they kind of just kept making those same mistakes.
So we see the Roos coming onto the field. Zach, if you want to show us that while we keep talking, yes. The Austin College Kangaroos in their maroon and gold jerseys are headed on, and before the national anthem, we'll jabber on for a few more minutes. And something else, Kirk, that we've seen is the defense has helped them stay in the games. We've seen guys like Pablo Cantu, and honestly, that entire defense, not one guy except for Cantu, in my opinion, has really stood out. It's been a team concept. What do you think about how this defense has already gelled? I think it's what's kept them close in these games so far.
Yeah, it's been the linebackers. It's been Cantu, Sandoval, and McKnight. Those 3 linebackers have been the ones that are making all the plays. Problem is, your linebackers are in that second layer of defense. We need to get those guys in the front line making some plays in the backfield and stopping them because they're getting 2 or 3 yards every time and making that third down a little bit too easy for the opposing team. So I think what we need is to see some plays in the backfield from that defensive line, and I think it's great. The secondary's been fantastic as well. Well, we thought it was kind of a bend and don't break, and that's kind of what we had. And they were put in some tough situations, and they actually held up. But they were on the field a ton in that first game.
And in the second game, on the road, they fell down early. They had trouble scoring in the first half. They tried to make a game of it late, but it was like too little, too late, and they left themselves too big a mountain to climb.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. And sometimes it's just too hard. You got to let your offense has to kind of pick up and carry and defense can set the momentum and set the stage for the offense. Offense needs to follow through and make sure they get their job done too, and that's kind of what we're looking for tonight.
So we've set the stage for this one. We're going to turn it over to the public address announcer here at Apple Stadium and the national anthem. We'll be back in just a moment. So here come now the Westgate Christian Ravens onto the field. They're going to be in their road white jerseys tonight with white pants as we get set for game time with 6 minutes until kickoff. And introduce to you the rest of tonight's crew. Zach Holmes, our producer. Emilio Sarge Juarez, our QA. It's like we're brothers all weekend long. Ethan Kirstein, Ethan Squared, our two camera operators. And of course, Chuck Licata, President and CEO of Big Daddy Media down on the field. Kirk Hughes and myself, Brian Scott, up here in the booth, bringing you the action all night long. We thank you all for joining us and excited to have you along as this twilight turns to a night game under the lights here at beautiful Apple Stadium. Under the lights, Kirk. Nothing better than football here in Sherman.
No, it's a beautiful day. I mean, it's 88 degrees was the high. Now, when we had Kalamazoo a couple weeks ago, we would have had this a little bit warmer temperature. It was a little cooler. We got this team now, Westgate, coming in from Houston, so this is going to be like cold weather for them, and there's no humidity whatsoever out there today. So
just a little warm if you're under the sun.
A little warm if you're under the sun, but if you're from Houston, this is nothing.
But look at the difference on the Austin College sideline where the shadows are at that first hash. It's all shade. If you're Westgate Christian, you're right now completely under the sun. I mean, you are bearing down in it. I wonder if that makes a difference.
It sure does. I can tell you, they're just baking. Now, the good news is they're wearing their white uniform, but it's still hot, it being in that sun. Now, Austin College being a smart school, we knew to put them in the sun and to build the stadium just right and have this nice overhang and this nice setup so that we can keep our team shady.
It looks like Austin College has won the toss.
Saying this coming out of the computer.
As both teams are making last-minute preparations. The starting lineup for Austin College it appears that they're going off with Caleb Valdez, they run a quarterback system. Third is the guy who you're going to want to watch at wideout. He's the speedster, and he's also back receiving the kicks along with Tushawn Wilson, the sophomore. He's on the far side. And we are Hayes Gray. And Caleb Balderas says we're underway here at Apple Stadium. It's Austin College and Westgate Christian. 15 minutes on the clock. And Austin College is going to come out on defense first. Their front three is going to be Daniel Terry, Matias Martinez, and Fernando Delgado. Their linebackers across the left to the right is Cam Hammond, Eliel Sandoval, Bryson McKnight, and Pablo Cantu. And then their cornerbacks are Evan Dennis and Trey Brewer. Their safeties, Kenneth Alexander and number 32, Jarius Austin.
It's a great kick by Balderas, made him fair catch it right there in the corner. Put the onus on the receiver to make that decision. So great job by him to start this game off.
So here comes Westgate Christian. After the touchback, they have at their own 25. The handoff is Jonathan McCoy. It's up for about 6 or 7 before he's finally taken down by Daniel Terry and Eliel Sandoval, who's going to be in on a lot of tackles tonight. So McCoy, you're going to see play all over. He can catch the ball, he can run the ball, and he can also throw it. You'll see him at all 3 positions as the night goes on. Right now it's going to be Trey Williams under center specifically. They come out in a 2-back set with 2 receivers, one to the left and one to the right in the shotgun formation. Wilson hands off and stop first man through, but McCoy gets around to the right side, breaking tackles as he goes, and Trey Brewer finally gets him out on the sideline, but not before McCoy gets scampering for about 12 yards up to the 49 for another first down.
Austin College defensive line, we talked about making plays, and they actually did. They stopped and pushed the offensive line back and had the running back stop, but Trey Williams, the quarterback, at 6'1", 246 pounds, became a lineman and started blocking and sprung that for them. So great job by the quarterback there to realize his running back was in trouble and turned around and made a great block for him. So they're going to go right back to this same setup they were in before. This time, Trey Williams going to keep it himself. Got some wheels and big man to bring down. Trey Williams going to take it all the way to about the 36-yard line.
Quarterback Maurice Young, quarterback keeper.
Looked like he was just doing the RPO action there and just decided he was going to keep that one himself, fake the handoff, saw the hole to the outside, and just went with it. He just kind of bumbled and stumbled all the way down. Like I said, at 6'1", 246, when he gets past that offensive line, he's going to be a hard man to bring down.
So 3 plays, 3 first downs for the Ravens, and they are marching down the field at a breakneck speed. Now they run 3 wide receivers, and the third is in motion. They fake the handoff, and Wilson's just going to go forward, but he's taken down after a gain of 3 by Bryson McKnight right up the gut.
Yeah, good job there by Bryson McKnight to grab him by the legs. Once you grab him by the legs and just hold on, he's just going to fall forward. But at 6'1", he still picked up 2.5 yards, 3 yards on that play. So.
And remember, that's what Coach White was saying is missed tackles, missed tackles, missed tackles. Because of that, they're getting 3-4 yards by getting into the linebacking core, that second level.
Yep, defensive line needs to kind of make those plays happen behind the line of scrimmage.
So here's Williams in the shotgun at 2nd and 7. He steps back to pass to the left. A great throw right out of the cut. First down for Joakim West. Down the left side as he is firing darts all over the field. He is switching it up, going left, going right, going center. 2.5 minutes in, the Ravens have a drive working. They're down to the 17-yard line.
Daniel Terry for Austin College broke through and hit Trey Williams right as he released the ball. It was a great play by Trey to get it off and under pressure, but also good job by Daniel Terry. Let's watch that matchup.
And he was able to take Brewer off the coverage, found himself wide open on this turnaround. Here's the handoff. No, he fakes it, and he fakes us out. Williams up the gut for about another 8 yards down to the 9. It's going to now be 1st and goal. They don't give him the first down. It's going to be 2nd and 1. Make it as the Ravens have gained yardage on every play thus far.
Yeah, Kenneth Alexander come up, and he was just one-on-one with the quarterback, but Mateus Martinez got penetration in there. The quarterback went ahead and just sucked that one back and kept it himself.
I formation, handoff to Malik Darby, and he's stacked up right at the line of scrimmage. The referee's right at that first down marker. Did he get 2 yards? I don't think he did. It's going to be 3rd down and just about a yard. Less than a yard to go. And let's see if Austin College can step up and make a defensive stand here on 3rd down.
That was Fernando Delgado Martinez that were in there making that play, stuffing that up. Good job by them and stuffing that hole right there in the A-gap.
5 out of their 8 trips on defense have ended up in touchdowns against Austin College. Can they get a stop? No, touchdown for Jonathan McCoy. The running back gets into the end zone on 3rd and 1, and the opening drive ends up in 6 for Westgate Christian, and it's an early 6-0 lead for the Ravens. And coming on for the extra point is John Villalobos.
They ran right behind number 77, Chase Boyd, the 6'4", 342 offensive line freshman. So that's where I would have run back behind as well if I was a running back.
Here's the extra point. Held, blocked, no good. To the right, the holder on that was A.J. Scott, the defensive back. And if anything positive comes out, it's that that touchdown only counts for 6, not 7. So now Austin College is going to have a chance to answer. That drive was 4 minutes and 12 seconds, ending in an Westgate Christian touchdown. Westgate Christian 6, Austin College coming up with their first drive.
Yeah, if there's any positive, it's they missed the extra point. They had some good penetration by Trey Brewer, who was coming off the edge. I don't know if he got a finger on it or not, but I think it was still ended up wide right. But defensively, they're going to come back and have to make some adjustments. There's not a lot of game film on this Westgate Christian team, and not a lot of stats. So
no,
they're coming out kind of blind that first drive. So, what you want to see is them make some adjustments and see what they do to come out try to stop this. Now, same thing is going to hold true for the offense as the offense takes the field for Austin College. They've got 2 game films on us, know what we're going to run, so they've been preparing while Austin College has been running their stuff and guessing at what Westgate Christian runs.
So Villalobos set to kick off for the Ravens. Back deep to receive is Jeremiah Johnson, number 1, and then on the near side it is Zion Stewart, number 2. And here comes Villalobos running up, kicking, and it's going to be Johnson taking it at the 10-yard line, running out, and he's got a hole up to the 20, the 30, and he's still going to the 40, the 50, and he's gone. 40, 30, 20. Johnson is taking it to the house for a Kangaroos touchdown. What an answer by the Roos. Take a bite of that apple. 6-6. 12 seconds later, the Roos have their answer.
Great job there by the kickoff team. They just opened that hole right up. Johnson happened to see it and then put on the afterburners, and nobody was going to catch him once he got past that last line of defense.
I saw your face when Johnson hit that hole right about the 23-yard line. And as a former player yourself, I'll finish that after Balderas tries to give Austin College the lead with the extra point. It's up and it's good. His 4th on 4 attempts this season. Austin College leads 7-6. But once he hit that hole about the 23 and put on the speed, you saw the entire field just open up in front of him. That's got to be an amazing sight as the runner.
As the runner, you just see it's like the parting of the Red Sea, right? It really was the parting of the Red Sea. They just parted it, opened it up, and he just took it straight to the house and didn't stop. And his eyes had to be about as big as mine because I was like, just run, Forrest.
And he ran, and nobody was catching him. And the strength of this Westgate team is their athleticism and their speed. But Jeremiah Johnson's got speed in spades, and he just was not to be caught. He was picking up speed that final 20 yards as he basically ran the 100-meter dash here with 10:38 to go. He ran it in about 12 seconds flat, and now Balderas is going to kick off for the second time, this time with a 1-point Roos lead. So I'm going to play pessimist and say the only negative is that the Roos defense is going to have to come right back on the field. And they've been on so far for 4 minutes plus, and now they're going to be asked to stop these Ravens again.
That's okay. They're going to have quick change, which is what the defense, is used to, and they're going to have to make their adjustments pretty quickly. They had about 12 seconds to talk about what they want to do differently.
Plenty of time, right, Kirk?
Plenty of time. But you know what? That's a boost. So they're going to be a little, rejuvenated, a little bit excited, happy to see some points on the board, and actually already have the lead.
First and 10 for the Ravens. Handoff to McCoy. He's stacked up right at the line of scrimmage, maybe a loss of 1.
It's Brendan Clark, the freshman from Fort Worth, Texas, there playing at the right there up the middle and just kind of stuffed that one up. They had nowhere to go. Same with 75 for Austin College as well. Caden McFarland. So
Brings up 2nd down and 10 for the Ravens.
2nd down and 11 from their own 24. Fumbling the snap, picking it up is Darby, who scored the touchdown, and he's tackled for another loss. And now the Kangaroos defense is playing their kind of smash mouth football, and the Ravens are just running it right into the heart of the defense.
Yeah, that's Brendan Clark again with a big play, as well as Cameron Barmletter. Those two just kind of stuffed that up. Sometimes when you see that ball on the ground, the defense will kind of just hesitate for a minute. They didn't hesitate. They went straight for it, bottled them up. Now we're looking at a long 3rd and 12 for the Ravens.
So Trey Williams under duress here for the first time, 3rd and 12 from their 23, 2 straight losses of 1 yard, 3 receivers all to the right and a running back, and the Ravens are going to call a timeout. And with that, we are going to try and throw it down to our friend Chuck Licata down on the sidelines. Chuck, do you read me?
Yeah, as you talked about, the first offensive series, there was an issue with tackling, and, pretty much Westgate had their way in that. And then remember Jeremiah Johnson with that great kickoff return, great blocking, great teamwork. Remember the earlier game, we talked about it. Hey, he came back to the side of the field and said, I want the ball. Well, guess what? He got the ball on the kickoff and did something with it. So hopefully that's the momentum for Austin College to turn things around here.
Fascinating, Chuck. Thanks for that update and great insight about Jeremiah Johnson coming out and wanting the ball on the first play of the game and then taking it straight to the house. Now, Kirk, let's see who wants to make a play here on defense.
I think we haven't called Pablo Cantu's name just yet. I think he's due for a big play for us.
Here's Williams stepping up in the pocket, looking for a place to run, and he's got nowhere. He's taken down, and he's sacked by Cam Hammond, the junior from Euless, Texas. And 3 straight losses for the Ravens, and it's punting time for Westgate Christian. What a series.
Yeah, no, huge, right? We talked about making adjustments, and what an adjustment they made. They actually got very aggressive, and it was the defensive line that we talked about that actually made the play on those 3 straight plays. Even though it was linebacker made the tackle, they forced the quarterback out. He had nowhere to go. Great job by the secondary.
And you're right. Instead of sitting back in coverage like they did the entire first drive and sort of letting the Ravens do exactly what they wanted, this time they came after and put some pressure on, and they're going to get the ball back in great field position after the punt, although it does take a heck of a Ravens bounce. It's going to drop and stop right at the 20-yard line, which is where the Roos take over. We're going to take a quick break here on FloSports and Big Daddy Media. You're watching Austin College 7, Westgate Christian 6. We have 8 minutes and 1 second left here in the first quarter. We'll be right back. First and 10 and the first flag of the game. It's going to be a false start on the Roos. It's going to set them back 5 yards. Referee's going to work it out. It's going to be first and 15 from their 15. So that good field position they should have had is getting worse by the second here.
Yeah, kind of got eaten up. Michael Kress didn't fair catch that one, let it bounce, and went over his head.
That cost him 20 yards.
Cost him some yards. That penalty didn't help, but we'll see what they do with it.
So we'll give you the starters on offense here in just a second, because even though Austin College has a touchdown on the board, this is their first offensive play that they've actually run, as Jalen Talton, number 7, their 3rd year starting quarterback, starts the game under center with a run play, and it's Zion Stewart, number 2, the starting running back with his 3 receivers right now. 85 is Michael Kress. Number 13 is Austin DeLay, and Jeremiah Johnson, who we've already talked about plenty. He's number 1. They're in a triangle formation on the right side. Talton in the shotgun, hands off to Zion, and Stewart gets maybe one, maybe two right up the gut. It's going to bring up a third and about 5.
We're going to see a lot of Zion Stewart today with Barrett Hudson's going to be sidelined with an ankle injury. Want to go ahead and give him a one more week of rest until we get into conference play. So smart move by coach there to kind of rest him. He's been leading the season so far with rushes and yards.
Take advantage of the bye week last week, this week, and get him ready for Centenary a week from tonight. 3rd and 5, Talton breaks the pocket, trying to get up to the first down. He's going to be close, but I think just about 1.5 yards, maybe 2 yards short. On that 3rd and 5, he gets 3, and now Austin College is going to punt, and we're going to see Kellen Vickery, the Ruse punter, for the first time. He's averaging 32.9 yards, but more importantly, there's been some issues with the Ruse punting game. He's had 1 blocked in each of the first 2 games. Let's see if the Ruse have been able to straighten things out in the bye week. This one's clean. Vickery gets it, and it's going to take a Ruse roll. And it gets just as good a roll as the Ravens got on the last one, all the way down to the 16-yard line, which is where Westgate Christian's going to take over. So Ruse didn't go anywhere on their first 3 plays, but that punt gives the defense good working field position as they come back on the field.
Yeah, Westgate opted not to rush the punter. He had all day back there. Almost maybe could have taken off and running and picked up the first down because they all just turned and ran. So I don't know if the special teams saw that or not. Maybe in a different situation, on a different side of the field, we may take advantage of that down the road.
And you wonder why they did that, given the struggles that you know Westgate Christian knows about. If I were the coach, you'd know that I'd put pressure on immediately.
Yeah, the result would have been the same if they didn't block it because it was going to bounce and roll either way. But, you know, that's to the Ruse advantage.
1st and 10 for the Ravens. Williams back at quarterback. He throws a screen pass to the left side, and advancing it is Joaquin West, who gets a first down and a gain of about 16 as he signals the first down for us all, in case you didn't know.
Ruse were going for the football, not necessarily the tackle.
Correct.
In that situation, I think the tackle is more appropriate.
4 receivers now for Westgate Christian. Breaking the pocket, Williams is just going to run like it's a schoolyard, and he slides down at the 40 after a gain of 8. 2nd down and 2 upcoming.
On 1st and 10, Trey Williams with the quarterback keeper.
Trey Williams gets outside the pocket or steps up through that hole and starts running, and you're that secondary. He's got to be scared as he comes running, barreling towards you.
He's a big kid. And this one's thrown to Dalen Robinson on the right side. He had Trey Brewer and his footsteps ringing in his ear, and he got those alligator arms, and pass is incomplete. 3rd down and 4. A big opportunity here for the Ruse to get their defense off the field once again.
Trey Brewer saw that one and tip off the receiver's hands and was hoping it would come right to him. He could have a makeup for the last game where he missed the interception and pick 6 possibly.
He's had a couple that he could have taken back to the house already in the early season. Yeah, absolutely. We're just about 10 minutes into this one. 5:04 to play in the first quarter. Ruse 7, Ravens 6. And the second timeout taken by Westgate Christian.
That's just a young team, right? So they're not getting the right personnel out there. 3rd and 4 is a big crucial down for them here where they are, but already with just 5 minutes to go still left in the first quarter, they're already 2 timeouts down. So in a critical situation that can come back to haunt them. I think we got Chuck down there who's ready to go too.
Coverage on the receivers. I'm not seeing containment of the quarterback. When the quarterback is back, we got good coverage on the receivers, but the quarterback is able to escape, get well past the line of scrimmage, and get some yardage. I'm thinking the defense needs to get a little bit of containment on the quarterback, guys.
I can't disagree with anything Chuck says. Thanks, Chuck Licata, down on the field for the update. As the Ravens come back for 3rd and 4, they only have 1 timeout left, 20 minutes still left in the half to manage. Trey Williams, handoff, Jonathan McCoy's going to have the first down and plenty more across midfield. He finally goes down at the 47 as
On 3rd and 4,
Kenneth Alexander brings him down, but a big gainer.
Yeah, gutsy call there on 3rd and 4. They run a draw play like that and hand it off and just got past the line of scrimmage. And once he did, the secondary was in man-to-man and it already dropped and turned the other way. They weren't looking back.
Joaquin West, the receiver, out to the left. Robinson to the far right. And Kieran Dallas is number 4. He's the receiver in the slot. Malik Darby goes in motion. The handoff is to Jonathan McCoy, who takes a big old hit by number 25, Marshall Majors, and he goes down after he's popped after a gain of 4, 2nd down and 6.
Majors, we've seen lay some wood here in this early season, and just a young player is Marshall, the sophomore from Gunner, Texas. Didn't start that first week, but came in later in the game and never left and made a big impact.
So ball at the Austin College 44, 2nd and 6, 3:45 and counting here in the first quarter. Handoff to McCoy, he's running right. Stopped by Eliel Sandoval, who went for the ball, and McCoy stayed on his feet, dragging Ruse with him. And he's talking as he comes up. Actually, the ball carrier was number 3, Micah Cooper. Either way, he was talking, and it's a 1st and 10 after that run after the first contact.
Looked like a rugby match kind of broke out there and had a scrum, and their offensive line was able to just kind of push that scrum a little further. But if we go back to that, this is the second time we've seen the Roos go for the ball, which I like the initiative and the process, but you've got to make the tackle too. And they're not making the tackle. They're going for the ball. They're picking up extra yards because of it.
And there you saw the prime example. That cost the Roos a first down, and play is stopped right before Sandoval's able to get to Williams. And it's a false start against Westgate Christian, so that's going to back them up 5 yards.
Yep.
And remember, they don't have a bunch of timeouts to use when they don't get communication right.
Yeah, but that's a break. That's actually a break for Westgate because Austin College was going to get a sack in that situation. They were going to lose more than 5 yards, and the loss of down. So that false start actually helped them out.
That's a good point, and they would have lost the down. 1st and 15. Ball at the 42 now. Trey Williams, the handoff to Micah Cooper, and he's tackled by Pablo Cantu. First man through the defense for the Roos, and finally, first guy wraps him, tackles him, and brings him down.
Yeah, that's a great job by Pablo. When he hits you, though, you're not going to go too far. He hit him. He slid down him, grabbed his legs, and let the rest of his teammates kind of take him out and take care of him.
And that's showing some leadership from the senior. He had a tough week last week, but they're showing his guys, we got to take down the ball carrier. That's more important than anything else right now.
Priority number 1, right?
The main thing has to be the main thing. 100 seconds left in the quarter, throw over the middle, and Williams was on the same page as Darby, and it's incomplete. Darby was cutting outside, and Williams was throwing it dead straight over the middle, and it's 3rd and 13 coming up.
Tell you, he had Brendan Clark and Cameron Barmletter that were breathing down his neck, and if he doesn't get rid of that ball when he did, he was going to get sandwiched in between both of them.
It makes me think that Darby ran a bad route because he's taken out of the game, bringing in number 12, who we haven't seen yet. Jair Nelson's going to play in the slot on the left side now as they go 2 receivers left, 2 receivers right, and a single setback. Stepping back to pass, Williams out of the shotgun, going for that new receiver Nelson, but he overthrows him, and it's incomplete. Kenneth Alexander on the coverage, and it's going to bring up 4th down just as the Ravens were matriculating down the field. As I watched a couple of their earlier games, Westgate Christian doesn't really have a field goal kicker that they can rely on. So keep that in mind as they get in between the 20 and 40 yard lines here. They definitely won't be kicking a 57-yard field goal. But as we go on tonight, as they're in that sort of interesting area where there's decisions to be made, they don't have the reliability that Austin College has with Caleb Balderas.
No, they didn't get all their players off the field. They snapped the ball a little bit too early. Actually, they got delay of games. They couldn't get everybody off the field in time.
And once again, I feel like the Ravens would benefit from 6 or 7 timeouts and give them a chance to have a little bit better communication.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, this doesn't hurt them as far
Absolutely
as the
not.
punt, right? So if you're going to have a penalty in 4th and long, go ahead and do it right there.
It may benefit Villalobos, who takes a high snap right at midfield, sends it high, and Kress is going to call for the fair catch, step under it, and take it in at the 15-yard line, where the Roos are going to take over 1st and 10. After that opening foray of scoring, it's been back and forth playing the field position game with 89 seconds left. It's still 7-6 Austin College.
Yeah, and let me just make the comment on Michael Kress there. That's a really smart play. You see this all the time. Is they tell him to stand on the 10-yard line. If it goes over your head, let it go. If it doesn't, go get it. It was on the 14-yard line. He went up, fair caught it. That saved the Roos possibly 14 yards of right there. So great play by him.
Absolutely. And the first time when he let it go, it cost him a bunch, 20 yards probably. Here's Zion Stewart up the right side, and he's got a big hole. First down and much, much more up to the 40, the 45, across midfield, and finally pushed out of bounds at the Ravens' 45-yard line, not before he gets a gain of 41 big yards for Zion Stewart.
Yeah, but also great job by the O-line, and Michael Kress again out there making that block on the defensive back that sprung him and got him that extra 20 yards.
That's almost double his yardage from the season. And here's the first career carry for John Rawls Thompson, number 28 on your screen. Came in to relieve Stewart, and here he comes out for a second, but let's give a round of applause as the sophomore gets his first carry and 6 big yards up the middle for John Rawls Thompson as he's congratulated by his Roos teammates. And now Talton goes back to pass it, stripped, fumble, picked up by the Roos, and Trayshawn Wiley, the freshman, has the turnover, and it's 1st and 10, Westgate Christian coming up with 40 seconds left in the period.
Yeah, Talton stepped up, and as he did, the defensive lineman went around him, was able to get a hand on that ball before he was able to get the arm going forward. He had 2 receivers deep that were open. I just needed an extra half a second to get that off, and then they were able to fall on the ball. So defense is going to be put in a situation, kind of like we did last time. It was a touchdown return. But
almost the perfect strip of the quarterback. If you're a Ravens fan, just before he gets going forward, to the right ball. The 1st and 10 off the turnover for the handoff to McCoy, who's dragging Bruce with him up the middle for 8 more yards, and that is Daniel Terry finally bringing him down. But McCoy is running very nicely here in the first quarter, and we'll see with 20 seconds left if the Ravens decide to run a play or if that's going to just take us to the end of the quarter, and it looks like the latter is going to be their choice. So after 1 quarter of play, it's going to be Austin College 7, Westgate Christian 6, but the Ravens after the turnover are driving, and they'll have 2nd and 2 when we come back. But before then, we'll send it down to our good friend Chuck Licata for this report. So we'll come back to Chuck. We'll come back to Chuck shortly.
Okay, sorry about that.
Oh, there we go. Chuck.
Hey, sorry about that. Okay, so real quick, so what we're looking for is that teammate, that glue, that chemistry. It's not happening on the field just yet for Austin College, but on the sideline when the defense and offense are getting together, sitting down, everybody's communicating. Everybody's talking about what they can do better. On that quarterback sack and fumble, the offensive line came off the field, said, "That's our fault, guys. We apologize." Guys?
Love it. Accountability, accountability, accountability. And it sounds like the offensive line took it on that play. Here's McCoy going off the right side. He's going to pick up the first down here on the first play of the second quarter. Kenneth Alexander making the stop just across the 30-yard line as the Ravens move forward.
Can't jump the O-line there as they just start defensive line back and had that first down pretty easily.
First and 10, Trey Williams back to pass, throws, Brewer on the coverage. Good catch on the sideline by Dalen Robinson. That's his second catch of the night. Good for 7.
That's a good play by Robinson because that wasn't the intended route. The quarterback has scrambled out of the pocket, and like Chuck said before, we needed to get somebody to contain the quarterback. We did have somebody come up and contain him. Receiver worked back to the quarterback, and he was able to find him at just the last second.
And Trey Williams isn't afraid to go up against Trey Brewer, and they go back to the right side. This time it's Malak Darby, and a big shove out of bounds. First down on the catch by Darby and run. And in the red zone go the Ravens, a place where the defense needs to step up.
That was just another missed tackle by Austin College. They read the play. They had two guys running up on the receiver and there was only one blocker, so they were able to get somebody free. Just didn't make the tackle in the backfield like they should have.
The defense against offenses have scored more than 50% of the time. Once they're in the red zone, they've scored touchdowns, 5 of 9 possessions. But on that first down run, only 2 yards for McCoy.
Contact right at the line of scrimmage, gain there. There's a quick handoff, trying to have a little quick hitter. They hadn't done that yet. They faked that handoff, and they were ready for it.
First quarter yards, Westgate Christian 148, Austin College 42. On the scoreboard 7-6, and they hold on to an advantage with the Ravens drive. Williams under center, hand off back, took runs up center, missed tackles abound, and he runs right into the Austin College end zone for the second Ravens touchdown of the evening, and it's 12-7. Westgate Christian as they retake the lead here in the second quarter.
Yeah, it's the kind of the theme, and that's what Coach White was nervous about, was just missed tackles, and that's exactly what you saw. There was 3 of them on that individual play, and the running back was able to run straight up the middle, touched, and but not taken down.
That's Jonathan McCoy's second touchdown of the night, and Westgate Christian's going to go for 2. McCoy's in the backfield. They're going to just hand it to him up the gut, and he tries to run it in.
Ball comes out.
Ball does come out. The officials are looking. Did he cross the line on second effort? Still no call.
No, they said it was good.
He did. 14-7. McCoy is down 14. They got that.
We're still talking about the near sideline, but put his hand up. Everybody else was still looking to figure it out, but they're going to the initial call on turn them.
So, Jonathan McCoy's been the star of the show. 8 carries, 76 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Thus far, averaging 9.5 yards per run. And if the Roos are going to keep pace, they're going to have to figure out a way to stop this running game.
Yeah, our pylon camera's not working down there today, but if it did, I think we would have had a really good view of what actually transpired down there, because it was going to be close.
And there were a lot of players stacked up in the middle. Here's Villalobos with his third kickoff upcoming. Roos now trailing 14-7. Does Jeremiah Johnson have another big play in him. The kickoff. They're going to kick it Johnson's way again. He's going to catch it and just tiptoe out of bounds. He tried to walk the tightrope, but his momentum takes him out. So it's going to be 1st and 10 at the 10 for Austin College.
And that's a great kick, and that's where you want to make that receiver
coffin corner.
Make him make a decision. Now it's a catch-22. If Johnson lets that go, it goes out of bounds, and we get the ball at the 35-yard line. So it's a risk-reward type of situation, and they got the reward.
But if he stays in bounds, okay, run, he'll still be running.
That's just me.
So it's 1st and 10. We Talton back on the field. Zion Stewart in the backfield. Jeremiah Johnson, the receiver to the right. Michael to the left. On the left side, right hand. Go for the 9-yard line. 30 to play on the half. Off to Stewart. Goes to the side. We tackle after a gain of 6. It'll be 2nd and 4.
That first down play, it's hard. 4 yards, make 2 more to get 4 yards. Now we play. Michael Crest make a catch yet. We haven't seen Jeremiah Johnson make a catch yet. So let's see what we can do here.
Fumbling the snap, Talton gets it back. Somehow he tucks it and runs and just barely gets back to the line of scrimmage. That could have been an absolute disaster. But somehow Talton saves it to bring up 3rd down and about 3.
They had a read option going there. I think he started trying to read before he caught the ball as his receiver was coming in motion.
Stewart offset to the left, Crest now to the right, and Johnson to the left. Talton in the shotgun. Now he changes the play, moves Stewart straight behind him. The snap, handoff to Stewart. Up the gut, breaking tackles, 1st down and more, up the 25 to the 26, and Talton must have seen something in the coverage to change the play at the line of scrimmage and gets the 1st down because of it.
Yeah, and that's why they get up to the line of scrimmage kind of quickly, because they're able to see what defense are going to do. It also doesn't give the defense time to sub out, too. So once they see who's out there, they're able to do it. We've got John Wallace-Thompson back in there at running back this play.
That's the benefit, though, of an experienced quarterback as well. Here's Thompson, his 2nd carry. He's going to the right side and just barely taken down. Otherwise, he would have been going for quite a while. And another good run by J.R. Thompson, 5 yards up to the 30-yard line.
And we saw Zion Stewart kind of limp off a little bit after that carry right before, so I think he's probably just catching his breath, maybe got a breather, stretch that ankle out. Looks like he's not in the tent or anything, so he should be good.
2nd and 5. Thompson takes the carry up the middle, diving his head forward for about 2 yards. Tackled by Joey Ramirez, who's made the last 2 plays, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 3 as Thompson has 3 carries now for 13 yards. And on the sideline, you can see Leighton Riviere. No, actually, here's 3rd down. You can hear the defensive coaches talking about the changes Talton's making right next to us. And here's Thompson, who's going to get stuck up at the line, and it's going to be a loss of 2. And Ramirez makes all 3 tackles on 3 straight carries by J.R. Thompson, and it's going to be a punt situation for Kellen Vickery.
J.R. Rawls-Thompson's not the only he's not the only Thompson to play for Austin College. His dad played for Austin College back in 2009. We'll tell that story in the next series.
Well, after this punt, we may have to talk about that. Gets it off. It's a wobbler. It bounces at the 41. Westgate Christian's going to take over, leading 14-7 with 9:05 left in the half. So we talked about J.R. Thompson, John Ross Thompson getting first action as his
Thompson was Hall of Fame as well.
And where's Tommy Thompson, his father today?
He's on the sideline as he's been the kicking coach for Austin College since 2010.
Wow. So tonight he's watching his son take his first carries as running back for the Roos, where he played as a 61-year-old 15 years ago this season. Pretty crazy.
Very similar to the movie you were talking about, the Senior, with Michael Chiklis of the movie's coming out, where he was a linebacker who came back to play for Sol Ross, who was in our conference back in 2007. And he was the oldest player at the time until Tom Thompson broke the record 2 years later.
So it all comes full circle, and Coach has got to be being pride tonight. His next generation take the rock and carry here for the maroon and gold. Right now, offense has been getting instructions from offensive coordinator Chad O'Meara, and the clock is under 8 minutes to play here in the first half. 3rd down and 3 upcoming for the Westgate Christian Ravens, and Trey Williams is going to try and find a way to get a first down. He has Jonathan McCoy in the backfield, who's at 83 yards and counting, going forward, but it's popped up by Pablo K2 right before he gets to the first down sticks. 4th down, upcoming, big play by Pablo.
Yeah, huge. Pablo and him, that was going to go forward. Usually the running back ends up falling forward for another yard. Pablo stood him forward. I mean, did what you wanted to keep your head up. Drove the basement, right to his chest, took him up, lifted his legs up, and pushed him back the other way. So big 4th down play coming up for the Roos defense.
Westgate's not going to punt. They're going to go for it. 4th down and a yard. Up the middle, no push, a second effort, and they didn't call the whistle. It's going to be a first down as Trey Williams basically jumps and triple jumps forward for a first down. He wouldn't have gotten the first down on first effort, but his knee never touched. He came back and on second jump flew over the pile, and it's first down on Austin College's side of the 50.
He got behind Chase Boyd, that 342-yard freshman, and then you've got Trey Williams, who's a 6'1", 246 quarterback, so that's a lot of weight going forward, and he was able to get that final push that got him that extra.
That is a big offensive line for Westgate Christian. Here's Williams taking a shot deep down the right side. He's got a receiver, and he's open, and he makes the catch. It's number 83, who's just into the game for the first time, Cameron Hines, the 6'1 receiver, using his height to get free, and that's going to go for 30 yards down to the 19-yard line. Williams to Hines, the connection, and once again, Ravens in the red zone, 1st and 10. Williams fakes the throw, and he's going to run first down to the 9.
It's a good job by the secondary. They had all the receivers covered. There was nobody, Chuck said, on that quarterback. So once he realizes that they're again covered, every defense bails out, he's able to just run.
This might not be a huge roster for Westgate Christian, but they sure do have a lot of receivers that are able to make plays. So 2nd down and 1. They called him just short of the first down. Williams is going to throw a screen pass to Kieran Dallas, who's going to run the wrong way, and then the turf monster picks him up and drops him.
Yeah, Kenneth Alexander was closing fast, so he really had nowhere to go. He was trying to cut back away, and he just did a good job there by Alexander chasing down.
But Dallas, if he just got forward and taken the even, would have probably had the first time instead of 7, bringing up a 3rd and 8. So fortunate time there for the Roos. They come up and make a 3rd down, and here's 5 minutes in the half. The shotgun it over the middle, picked off.
Oh,
Should have had it. Oh, wow. Number 16.
And a flag came out really late.
Jonathan Lawson just couldn't hang on.
Well, they're calling a flag on that. Pass interference on the defense came out really late, but I don't know how that's possible when we were in front of the receiver.
They're going to call it a spot foul. They may have been able to call holding, but pass interference, you're right, Kirk. That's a tough one.
Yeah, Brendan Clark was barreling down on the quarterback once again. He's had a huge game. We mentioned his name a ton today, and he's been breaking free out of that from the offensive line and putting a lot of pressure on the quarterback.
That's a brutal penalty for Austin College. They were just about to get off the field on a third down stand. They took away the pass interference, and it will bring up a fourth and 8. So take back everything except the fact that Kirk just said there couldn't be pass interference.
Well, it couldn't have been because I didn't see it to the line, but apparently it was to the line at some point.
For Westgate Christian would like an explanation. I'm not sure that anything said by the officials is going to be satisfactory. John Villalobos is going to come on and attempt an extra field goal from the 35-yarder. From the 25 is where the holder will put it down. The snap, the leather kick. Is it long enough? Up and no good. Short and to the right. And once again, the Ruse defense holds.
Kind of hold your breath there. I kept thinking Trey Brewer was going to get there. The snap wasn't really that fast, but the holder was able to get it down. Kicker kicked it right away, but still wide right.
That bend and don't break, they make you nervous on defense, but on third and fourth down, they come up with two big plays and they get the ball back. Now, with under 5 minutes, can this offense finally do anything? Remember, that 7 points for Austin College came on the very first of football, Jeremiah Johnson's 90-yard kickoff return. And other than that, the offense has been held in neutral.
And this is kind of what Coach White talked about. We need to make big plays at crucial times, and the young team needs to learn how to make those plays. Now's a really good time to have a 4-minute drive and end with a touchdown.
Handoff, no, he fakes it, and Talton's going to take off, and there's a lot of space. Keep going across the 50 down to the 40. That's a 36-yard run up the right sideline, and, you know, nobody decided to pick up the quarterback.
Genius move by Talton. This corner looked back, and as he looked back, he pulled the ball up like he was going to throw it to Michael Kress. He then goes to cover Michael Kress, who Michael Kress was able to make a block that swung him.
And carry right there, and Talton actually is going to take a seat right now. Hopefully it's just a cramp. Trainers are going to come out onto the field.
I'm not sure what happened. He was pushed from behind, landed on the ball, maybe just kind of knocked the breath out of him just a little bit.
But he got up right away. Coach White is hot. He is furious. And he's talking to the official. And we're going to send it down to sideline reporter Chuck Licata. Chuck, what do you have for us?
Well, you know, the way he ran and got pushed from behind, you kind of wonder if maybe being pushed from behind kind of made him stumble and maybe tweak his leg a little bit. The thing is, it's obviously, you see the view. It's beautiful weather out here. It seemed hot, but it's really only 3 degrees. So really, it shouldn't be a cramp. So Brian and Kirk, I'm thinking this injury right here, and hopefully it's not a hard one. I'm thinking this might have something to do with being pushed from behind and stumbling over himself, being caught off guard by being pushed from behind for the tackle.
Well, Chuck,
guys,
I agree. Look behind you. The trainers are actually looking at his upper torso or head area, definitely not focused on his legs right now. And Talton now is up, checking on his quarterback, and he is still just absolutely livid at these officials, believing there should have absolutely been a penalty on that play. Meanwhile, Leighton Riviere is going to come into the game. Austin College is prepared with a 2-quarterback system, and one way or another, Leighton Riviere from Pflugerville was going to get into the game at some point. And while Talton tries to get recovered from the sideline, our Ethan will be on that. Leighton Riviere steps back for his first throw of the game. He pulls it back down. Now he throws it and finds his tight end right before he gets tackled. Number 37 making his first catch of the season. That's Rhett Bestuel, backup tight end. Actually, it's his second catch of the season. He had one catch for 11 yards, Kurt, last week against Rhodes.
That's kind of the scramble drill. When you see your quarterback get out, you come back to him and able to get just a 2-yard gain, but better than a 4-yard loss or an incomplete pass. So,
and we'll talk a little bit about Riviere's luck or lack of it here in just a second after this second down play on the Westgate 48. A little miscommunication. He turned the wrong way, and he's just going to get rid of it before he's taken down for a sack. It's 3rd and 8. But Riviere and Talton's going to come right back in after 2 plays from Riviere, and that's really been the story of his early season so far, Kurt.
Yeah, I think he turned the wrong way, kind of messed up that whole play, threw off his rhythm. I think it threw off the rhythm of the running back, and I think it was supposed to be a handoff. He turned it into a pass play at the last second and able to get rid of it without taking a loss.
2-quarterback system. Unfortunately for Riviere, he's come in at some inopportune times for him, and unfortunately luck has not been with him when he has come in. Talton stepping back, has a man over the middle. It's Johnson. He's at the 10, the 5, and he's going to cut diagonally for a touchdown before his legs are cut out from under him. He's in the end zone. Touchdown, the second one of the night for Johnson. Ruse back on the board. They're within 1 with the extra point pending, and thank goodness Johnson's okay.
Yeah, good job there by Jalen Thompson. He was so wide open, he actually, because he couldn't so wide open, so he got the ball to him, and Johnson was able to breathe from the end zone. Then he gets after 2 yards deep, which should have been a late hit.
Caleb Balderas on for the extra point to tie things up. He's been perfect so far this season. Can he go 6 for 6? Yes, he can. And Kirk, the coolest thing I've seen tonight, not only was that touchdown throw, but what Jalen Talton did as he came to the sideline is he put his arms around Leighton Riviere and gave him a talk right into his ear as he talked to him one-on-one. And I'm sure what he said were some encouraging words to Riviere, who he knows hasn't had the easiest of starts through 3 games. And that was just really cool to pull your teammates aside when you've just had a great moment out on the field to be thinking of your teammates. It goes to everything that Chuck's been saying.
Yeah, no, exactly. And, it's the fact of the matter is Riviere didn't mess anything up. He kept the drive, got him positive yards, and 1 incompletion, but didn't turn it over. Didn't have any, disastrous play. Kept the drive going. Let Jalen come back in, and then obviously makes the big play on 3rd down for the first down and the touchdown.
Those are the really cool things you can see in this game of college football, and on the Division III level. When you get those moments, you have to cherish them, and that one was special between Jalen Talton and Leighton Riviere, and it leads to a tie game now, as that's the first offensive touchdown. As we were talking about before that tracker, it's a brand new ball game. The kickoff is fair caught at the 10-yard line, they're going to call it.
Yeah, so they'll take the ball at the 25-yard line on the fair catch. But that was a weak fair catch, and I wasn't sure if he was going to take off running. I saw the referees kind of stare at each other too, and they went ahead and gave it to him. I think that was the right play. Had he taken off run, they would throw a flag for calling the fair catch.
Jeremiah Johnson has had a great half, and I'm not sure there's been as open a Ruse receiver through 3 games than on that play.
No, he was, like I said, he was wide open, and I think Jalen was a little starstruck to see him that wide open too.
He's not used to it. So here's Williams. Do the Ravens have an answer? The pitch play to the right side, and the Ruse are gang tackling for no gain. McCoy. 2nd and 10 coming up.
Yeah, you've got Cantu over there making a play. You got Cody Stevens making a play. You've got 2 linebackers coming up making a play right at the line. So great job there.
Did that serve as some momentum for this entire Ruse team as we head down under 3 minutes before the half in a 14-14 game?
You know, with 2:45 to go, Ruse have 2 timeouts. The Ravens only have 1 left. The Ruse can get the ball back here.
Williams holds on to it. Coming left, good defense. He stops and gives his teammates time to come over, and Eliel Sandoval holds up Williams. 4 teammates are able to then push him out of bounds after a gain of 2. And a great play by the whole group of Kangaroos.
The whole mob ended up getting to him that time.
It's like Williams was hesitating, looking for a running lane, but as Sandoval kept running with him, the rest of the team was in pursuit, and they caught up to him.
Yeah, no, he stretched it out as far as he could. And, he knew that, Trey Williams isn't the fastest guy out there on the field for them running the ball. He's a big load when he lowers his shoulder if he decides to do that. But if you can just string him out and make the play go longer, I think then you got the rest of your teammates got the speed and come in and kind of finish it off and make the tackle.
So the 2-minute timeout is in play. We'll send it back down to Chuck Licata on the Austin College sideline.
Hey guys, so Felix Flores the third, senior offensive lineman, number 70, number 73, Trevor Timmerman, junior offensive line. Make sure this is running this time. Yeah, those 2 guys very vocal the entire time the offense comes off the field. After that touchdown, both of them said, guys, this is what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to block, we're supposed to give our quarterback time, and we're supposed to watch receivers get open. Brian, we talked about accountability. Kirk, we talked about accountability. The offensive line and the offense is taking accountability, guys.
And that is what has led to this Ruse team staying together through some adversity here in the first half. And if they can get a stop here on 3rd and 6, they're going to get the ball back and try and take the lead before halftime. Williams takes the snap, throwing right. Good defense, forces an incompletion. No flags on the play.
They've run that play about 4 times, and in the last 3 times, the Ruse have sniffed it out, and Evan Dennis was right in the thick of it. Very dangerous throw by the quarterback because Evan Dennis is sitting right there.
I haven't seen Dennis or either of the cornerbacks, when that's been thrown, literally get in between the receivers. There was no throwing lane to be had, and I think that surprised Williams there. And it's going to bring up 4th and 6, absolutely perfect coverage, and learning from plays that have come before there by Evan Dennis and looking at the tape on the sideline.
Yeah, I agree 100%. That's just knowing what the play is, knowing what to do.
Punt for Villalobos. That's his best one. Kress is going to fair catch it at the 36. So with 1:52 remaining in a tie game, does Talton have time to lead the Ruse offense to a field goal or maybe more with these 2 timeouts remaining? And I was saying, Kirk, that before the 2 minutes, or at least thinking that maybe the Ruse should have taken a timeout, but now that they haven't, you have almost the full 2 minutes and you still have both timeouts remaining. So you're in a pretty good situation if you're Austin College.
Yeah, I think you were right in thinking to take a timeout, but they had the 2-minute timeout, which kind of gave him one for free. So it worked to the Ruse advantage in that situation, and defense made the play they had to make.
Talton steps up in the pocket and plenty of room to run. He's going to the sideline. They're going to get Timmerman for pancake blocking number 90, I believe. Yep, a holding call against, actually that's Felix Flores, who ironically Chuck was just talking about, as he sat on Dominique Solis, and Flores goes 294, 6'2", the senior from Cyprus. That can't feel good.
No, and a pancake block is not a holding, so I'm not sure where the ref. I mean, I get it. He's holding him because he's on top of him, but that's not. He did not take him down.
And I didn't see the beginning of that play. I just saw where it ended up.
Sure.
So it's first 20 now, and had plenty of space there. Unfortunate penalty. All the fires almost intercepted. Fortunate that it wasn't. It didn't receiver. Good for him.
Yeah, we haven't, we've called Michael Kress's name a bunch. He's done a great job blocking. He's done a great job on special teams, but he hadn't had any passes thrown away yet. He's the Blues leading receiver coming into the game with 10 receptions for 171 yards.
He had 81 against Kalamazoo. He had 132 against Rhodes. And if you can hear that noise in the background, it's the Westgate Christian coaches. Alton to this line, it's complete, but it's not going to be for much. And just as you said, there's Cress's first catch tonight. It's for very little yardage as the clock gets down to 1-2, winning. And that was a gain of probably 2.
Yeah, it was a gain of 2, if that even. And the worst part is that he went out of bounds. Up as a let the clock keep running if we don't get the first down.
Westgate Christian only has 1 timeout left. They are going to pass Talton across the middle.
Oh, there's the flag. There
yes. A pass interference gives the Roos a fresh set of downs. Maurice Hubbard doesn't understand why he was called, but I can explain it. It's because he had his arm wrapped around the back of Michael Kress.
He looked like he was Michael Kress's cape, to say the least. I mean, he had both arms around him and was trying to go for the ball, but he was going through Michael Kress to get to the ball, and you just can't do that as a defensive back.
You're going to get called every time, especially when the head linesman is standing right behind you and can literally see where your arm is located around the corner of Kress's torso. So it's going to save the Roos. Set of downs, 1st and 10 from their own 36. 91 ticks remaining before halftime. Talton steps back in the shotgun across the middle. Kress is wide open. 35-30. Could he go to the 10, the 5? Yes, he can. It's a touchdown for the Roos. They hop to the end zone, 64 yards. Talton to Kress. And the Roos go back on top.
And that's Kress's first touchdown of the year and all those receptions. And what a touchdown it was, the right time, right place. And we said that we need to get him the ball. He's our leading receiver, and look what happens when we do. Good things.
Kress adds to his total. He was averaging 14.2 yards per catch. That's going to go way up after that 64-yard completion for a touchdown, his first as a Kangaroo, and the longest catch of his Austin College career comes at a critical time. Austin College, their biggest lead so far tonight. They go up 21-14, and the seas are opening for these receivers across the middle of the field. It's those diagonal routes, both by Johnson and there by Kress, and there's nobody playing deep enough for Westgate Christian backing up as safeties to make those tackles if they get past the cornerback.
No, but it all goes back to the offensive line, giving Talton enough time to block so that those receivers can get open so that Talton can make the pass. In the last 3 minutes, Austin College has scored 14 points, and it's because of the offensive line and the team working together. And we talked about they need to do little things and make big plays, and young teams need to be able to have that experience and know that they can do good things.
And this is after they started the half with 7 minutes to go in the second quarter. This offense had been completely stuck in neutral. Literally hadn't done anything, and now they've exploded on their last 2 drives for 14 points with 2 absolutely big splash plays to make it 21-14. Westgate Christian will have 78 seconds left. Balderas, the kickoff. It's going to be fair caught by Westgate Christian, and they're going to take it out to the 25-yard line, which is where they'll start down 7, trying to get a score of their own before the half. And remember, two things, Kirk. They only have one timeout remaining. They used two early in the game in the first quarter. And secondly, their field goal game is not the best. Their punter and kicker is their field goal kicker, and he's already missed a short one from 35 yards.
No, but just about anybody that touches the ball for them can take it to the house in any moment. So he cannot right here and has to, their ends in and be for anything.
Williams throwing, catching, and trying to run for extra yardage. He stays in bounds, though, not a first down, so the clock will run. The catch is made by Joaquin West, the junior, after a gain of 6. The clock goes under a minute, though, and they've wasted 20 seconds already, and they're just out above the 30-yard line. Still 70 yards to the end zone. Williams throwing, has a man open at the 48-yard line, and that's going to get a good chunk of yardage as he goes out of bounds. That time it's Micah Cooper out of the backfield.
I am not a fan of the prevent defense, because it does not prevent the offense from making big plays, and that's exactly what just happened there. They've got a deep zone going on, not letting anybody get by you, which I agree with, but that's just too much cushion, too much room to let those receivers catch those passes.
36-yard line, 1st and 10. Williams steps up in the pocket. He's going to run. There's a holding call. A flag is down. That play takes up 8 seconds, and it's going to come back for a loss of 10. And the lineman, Chase Boyd, and number 64, Darren Durand, is the one who's actually whistled for the holding, although they could have gotten a couple of guys. And they don't put the time back on the clock either, so negative yards, negative clock play. So it's going to be 1st and 20 from their 36 now with 38 ticks remaining.
Yeah, I'm going to say look for a draw play here. See if they can't just kind of catch the Roos off balance a little bit. If they can get some big yardage, they may use their timeout. They may run to the line. There's still plenty of time left for them, but they may just want to let this one run out. But they're going to have nobody in the backfield, so.
Here comes Williams out of the shotgun. Empty backfield. He pulls it. He runs. And
ball's out.
Fumbled. And it's jumped on by the Roos. Turnover at the 50-yard line right at midfield. Pouncing on it is Brendan Clark, the freshman from Fort Worth. And a huge mistake by the Ravens.
Yeah, that's Cam Hammond, and they've been going for the ball all day, and that's the opportunity to go for the ball. He wasn't going to get the first down, was anywhere close to it, and Cam Hammond just grabs the ball knowing he's got some guys behind him to come finish off the tackle, and he just strips it from behind. Great job.
And that's why you just take it to the half sometimes when you're in a backwards negative situation without a lot of things going for you. Disaster can strike, and it just did. So 2 timeouts now for the Roos. Talton, with some momentum on his back, is going to try and at least get the Roos into field goal range. A throw to Zion Stewart, who fortunately is back in the game. Catches one out of the flat for 8 yards down to the 42-yard line, and the Roos will use one of their timeouts as the scoreboard goes a little haywire here at Apple Stadium.
They don't just stop it, they turn it off.
Yeah. So the Ravens may be doing something a little funky with it.
So it was actually stopped at 20 seconds, so they're going to put they should put 20 seconds back on the clock, but I guess you're going to leave it at 19. But
so things turning absolutely perfectly right now for Austin College ever since they got that first touchdown pass to Jeremiah Johnson with about 6 minutes to go in the second quarter. They've gotten every break imaginable here the rest of the half.
They've gotten every break, but they've made every break.
Yeah,
they haven't just
right.
gotten it, they've made it. They made him fumble. The offense has actually taken control of the offensive line and made the plays they had to make in the crucial situation.
And it's exactly what they hadn't done their first 2 games. They hadn't been making their breaks.
Yep.
So here's Talton in the shotgun, 2 to the left, 2 to the right. He's going to step up. He's going to just push throw it for an incompletion. Probably the best thing he could have done, but the clock does go down to 13 seconds, and the Roos probably need about 20 yards on this play to be able to set up for a field goal. You can either do that or, Kirk, you can take a couple of shots to the end zone, the way this offense is sort of flying, and take your chances against these defensive backs.
I think you look for about a 15-yard out, try to get to the sideline. If you can stop the clock, then you got one more play. If you can get the yardage, you got the timeout left, you can get Valderez out there to kick the field goal. He's got the leg.
And you definitely have 3 plays in you with 13 seconds to go, and you also do have a timeout if you don't get out of bounds. Talton stepping up. He's going to be sacked and brought down, and that is going to cause a timeout as Talton can't get rid of the ball, and he's brought down. And Chuck, what do you have for us?
I talked to Caleb Balderas right after that last touchdown. I asked him, I said, what's your range? He said, 45 and in, I'm 100%. After that, I'm pretty positive I can get a good distance, but as you can see, this is going to be a little bit tough. This is NFL Brandon Aubrey range almost, guys.
Yeah, from here, Chuck, it's free, which is a couple yards closer than Brandon Aubrey's long. Probably a little bit too deep for Valderez, so we'll save his leg probably for the second half.
Every kicker says they can do it, though. No kicker's going to say, no, I don't have this, but I think at the end of the day, he's got a pretty good leg. And
absolutely. So Talton is going to probably take one shot here with 6 seconds to go, 4th down and 6. And if nothing else, take it to the half up by 7 and prevent the Ravens from getting a chance. Stepping up, waiting for his receivers to go deep. He finds Johnson across the middle of the field, catches it, picks up about 25 yards. No, they call it incomplete, and the clock runs out, and Chuck's going to find head coach Tony Joe White, and we'll send it down to him here as we go into the half with Austin College leading by 7, 21-14.
Yeah, you know what we've seen in the first half, we've seen Jeremiah Johnson step up. A little tribute to one of our favorite Oscar-winning actors who, in that movie, The Recruits, you know, I asked him, I said, Jeremiah, remember the first game you said you wanted the ball? He said, absolutely, I want the ball. So obviously he's done as you said from 63 if he had needed to. One other quick note, guys. We talked about teamwork on the Ruse side. How about on the broadcast side? Obviously, Kirk joining Brian in the booth, and Zach Holmes doing a great job producing, working on multiple cameras. Ethan from Austin College, and of course our own filmer, Ethan, doing a great job. Well, and our QA, Sarge, Emilio Juarez. Sarge, thank you, brother. We are using your microphones. That's what's made our audio down here better. Now if we can just get the camera first, we'll be okay, guys.
Actually, Chuck, it does look pretty good shooting you from this high up range.
Yeah, that's good. That's so the camera doesn't break, right? That's what it is.
Takes away a few of the blemishes. How about we leave it at that? But definitely a big thanks to Ethan Squared is what I'm calling them, Kirstein and Proctor. Thanks to both of them, and of course a shout out to Zach, my man right to the right, and to Sarge, who is hanging out with me all weekend long. It was a pretty fun first half, Kirk, and give us your overall thoughts before we send it to the halftime break.
Yeah, we talked about they need to step up and make plays when they need to, and they did. They had an opportunity there. They're down by a touchdown with 4 minutes to go in the half. They score. Defense, turns around, gets the ball back for them, and they score again. So huge job by not only the offense in scoring twice, the defense getting the ball, but then actually the game started off with special teams. So all 3 phases of the game have actually paid off for Austin College, and everybody's made plays.
And let's see what the difference is. After the first game against Kalamazoo, Austin College was trailing. They were down 17-3, couldn't get a touchdown in the first half 2 weeks ago against the Rhodes Lynx. Tonight, they get those scores at the end of the half to take the lead. Does that make a difference in the final outcome? We're going to find out in the final 30 minutes. We'll take a break. Second half coming back in about 18 minutes. We'll be back a few minutes before that as Chuck Licata is going to have a little chat with head coach Tony Joe White, which is probably going to be a little more positive now than it would have been about a half hour ago. So refill your popcorn, fill up your drinks at home. We thank you for joining us tonight on Austin College football here on FloSports and Big Daddy Media. We'll be back for the second half in just a few minutes.
There is not a shortage of activity. I'm sure. It runs on the bread wasn't working, but it wasn't responding. Okay, so I had to, so what I did was I just put the scoreboard up, thought to put that up there so I had the bug to work, got the bug to work, put the bug back on, thought it back on. Why didn't we start the game with the well, we just had, I just put on the hot spot, and that's what we did last time on the hard spot. So, we used internet. I don't know, I didn't set up the first one. Oh, that's right. So you're on the internet now? No, I just on the internet.
good. Are you?
second half. Yardage in the first half, Kirk, 213 for Austin College, 246 to Westgate Christian. But even with the 30-yard disparity, Westgate Christian ran 17 more plays than the Roos.
Yeah, part of that came because the Austin College touchdown came on the kickoff return, so that was a quick change. They got the ball right back. But, they had Westgate Christian had a really good first drive and kind of ate up some clock, ate up some time and a lot of plays. But after that, Austin College defense has really kind of come along, and I think a lot of that came on the first drive and then their other touchdown drive. Other than that, the defense has been really good, especially the second half of that second quarter.
The rushing yards for Austin College, 97. Westgate Christian had 150, and Talton throws for 116. Westgate Christian just under 100. And the first half, Austin College chose to defer, so they kicked off. And now as we get set for quarter number 3, it's Josh Villalobos who's going to kick off, and Austin College deep to receive. Zion Stewart on the far side, Jeremiah Johnson on the near, who ran the opening kickoff back for a touchdown. We'll see if he can accomplish that feat again. And we are Hayes Gray and underway. The third quarter, 30 minutes to go, and Johnson runs it out of the end zone up to the 20, takes a turn left, and he finally goes down at the 35, but a flag is thrown right at the end of the play.
I'm thinking I'm not kicking it to that guy. I guess you got to pick your poison with whoever you kick it to, whether it's Jeremiah Johnson or Zion Stewart or whoever, but I think I'm kicking to the other guy after he's run one back for a touchdown.
Holding against the Kangaroos, so bring them back 10, but they will start 1st and 10.
Not so sure about that holding penalty. Again, that's another pancake. They seem to think pancakes are holding, but I guess it's how they bring them down.
So it'll be 1st and 10 Roos from their own 21. As we start the second half, remember in the first half it took about 6 minutes for Austin College to even get their first play run from scrimmage. And so Jalen Talton has Stewart set back behind him, and a false start for Michael Kress, the receiver on the right side. It's going to be the second penalty right out of the locker room, and that's going to infuriate Coach White. 1st and 15 now, back them up to the 21. So Johnson brings it to the 36. And before they run a play, it's going to be 1st and 15 from the 21.
Yeah, not how you want to start. You had the momentum coming out of halftime, and you want to be able to build off that, and that's what young team needs to be able to learn how to do, and just take the good and keep following up with more.
2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Talton in the shotgun. Handoff to Stewart. Has some room up the middle, down the left side, about up to the original line of scrimmage. He gains 4. Before he's wrapped up by the Ravens, Trayshawn Wiley, a freshman, and it's going to be 2nd down and 11 for Austin College.
Yeah, you want to see positive yards, so that's a good first down play. Unfortunately, it was 1st and long, and now it's going to bring up 2nd and long still, but they got to keep building.
They send Austin DeLay in motion on that last play. Now they split him out left, and they throw it to him. Actually, it's Kress, and he gets very close to the first down. Kress now has 3 catches on the night, including that game-leading touchdown, the last one of the half, and it's going to be 3rd down and 2.
And that's exactly what you want, right? You had 1st and long, which you're able to get back all that yardage. Now you've got 3rd and really short, so you're going to open up the offense. It can be a pass, it can be a run, or in this case, it could be the run option.
What kind of play do you have to keep this drive alive? Talton rolling out right. He's got room to run for the first down. He's got it and more. He turns the corner past the 50, down to the 40. He's horse-collared, out of bounds at the 36-yard line. They're going to say he stepped out of bounds at about the 42, so back it up about 6 yards nonetheless. A big first down on a big run for Jalen Talton.
Yeah, that was a run RPO right there. It was run pass option, but he saw the run all the way, tucked it, and just took off for the first down. And Coach White got mad at the tackle before on Talton. That's the one he should have really gotten mad at because it was a horse collar and it was about 2 yards out of bounds.
Should have been 15 yards. Nothing called. Talton, hands off, Stewart up the middle with a burst of speed into the secondary. First down yardage, a gain of 12.
He actually looked like a kangaroo as he hopped over the defensive lineman who had fallen down and had all of his legs off the ground, and kind of dangerous because he's not a big guy, so a good hit there could have really spun him, but landed back on his feet and got about 4 more yards.
Talton's now run 6 times for 48 yards. Stewart 7 times for 79 yards. The two-headed attack is working. Under 13 minutes in the third quarter, 1st and 10 from the Ravens 33. Another handoff to Stewart. He shimmies left, spins, and taken down by a whole gang of Ravens after a gain of 4, though, because his momentum was carrying him forward. Positive yardage on first down.
Yeah, big first down yardage there. Like you said, that's going to be 4 yards, and you'll take that all day long on any play. So going to bring him out for a breather and bring in John Rawls Thompson again.
The sophomore making his collegiate debut, John Rawls Thompson, in for the injured Barrett Hudson. Number 28 set off left, and he takes the handoff, gets some yardage up the middle. He's going to be very close to the first down. The referee calls it a first down. He gets 7 when he needed 6, and his dad, the kicking coach, is going to be happy as his son moves the chains. The oldest player in collegiate football, Tom Thompson, who scored a point at 67 years of age, watching his son carry the ball for his alma mater here for the first time tonight. 5 carries now for 18 yards for JRT, and he's spinning forward for another gain of 7. JRT doing work.
Yeah, he's getting right behind Felix Flores and Tristan Dobney. In those last 2 plays, he just kind of gotten right on their tail and just followed them. That's a good pair to follow.
And now you see, as he comes off, Coach White giving him an actionable teaching lesson right now, showing him how he needs to come off the blocks for the youngster. Now it's Stewart trying to get the first down yardage up the middle, but he's stacked up and brought backwards on a 2nd and 4 play. That is number 55 for Westgate Christian, Kadarian Easley, one of the few seniors on this second-year club. 10.5 minutes as this drive is almost spanned 5 minutes here to start the third quarter. Down in the red zone, it's 3rd and 1 for the Roos. Handoff to Stewart. Gets the first down past the 10-yard line, down to the 8. It's going to be 1st and goal, Austin College. Another first down.
Great job by Zion Stewart. They had him stopped, and he did a little jump stop, kick to the right, and found just enough to get that first down. So great job of reading the hole right there.
And they are just running the ball down the throats of Westgate Christian on this drive. 6 straight runs, now 7. Stewart to the right side, to the 5, to the 4, and just barely dragged down. The last man that saves the touchdown is Andre Knotts-Broussard.
So I think what Austin College is doing is they realize that Westgate Christian doesn't have that many guys on defense. They don't have that many subs, so they're getting right back to the line, not allowing them to sub and running that play. And I think Austin College has the momentum, and they're using it, and Westgate can't get their breath.
2nd and goal from the 4. Austin College 50% touchdown on the red zone attempts, 3 for 6 on the season, and they have a false start penalty on the offensive line, their second one of the drive. They overcame it before the first play of the quarter, and now they turn 2nd and goal from the 4 into 2nd and goal from the 9.
So let's see how they respond. So a young team, you want to be able to overcome adversity. You're going to have some adversity here and there. Sometimes it's self-inflicted like this was, but they've got to be able to overcome it, and that's what Coach White really wants to see in this type of situation.
The only time they've thrown it on this drive was when they were behind the sticks at 1st and 15 at the beginning of the drive. Since then, it's been exclusive on the ground. Talton in the shotgun, hands off to Stewart. Stewart stood up at the line. He's going to get back down to about the 7, makes up about half of the penalty yardage. But it is going to be 3rd down and goal for Austin College, as they have used up 7 minutes here of the quarter on this drive. The clock just keeps on running.
I think Jalen would have liked to have that one back. That was an RPO where I think he handed it off automatically a little bit too quickly. I think if he pulls that back, he may just walk into the end zone to the right side.
That line was packed full of Ravens, and you're right, the right side would have been empty. He throws, he steps back, and it's incomplete, but a flag comes late. Michael Kress was interfered with, and the Ravens are absolutely furious.
He's wearing the same cape, number 0. Again, it's the same guy. And you know
Maurice Hubbard caught again.
He's 5'9", 160, trying to go against Michael Kress, who's 5'11", 190, and he just can't work through Michael Kress. Michael Kress did a good job. That's a basketball move where you get in between the defensive back and your quarterback, and he can't make the play. So good job.
Great camera work from Ethan Kirstein and Ethan Proctor getting us the reaction shots. So it's 1st and goal now from the 1 yard line. Austin College looking to punch it in from the 2, actually from the 2. Looking to go up by 2 touchdowns for the first time this season. Talton hands off to Stewart, who runs it in all the way for the touchdown. Austin College 27-14, and they institute the light show here at Apple Stadium.
And that's a first, I can tell you that. I thought for a minute we had a power outage, but haven't seen that go often since I've been here. 20
straight points. They were down 14-7 with about 5 minutes to go in the half. And now with 7:44 left in the third quarter, Austin College 27, Westgate Christian 14, and make it 28 as Balderas makes his 4th extra point of the night. What a great opening drive, takes up half the quarter.
Yeah, so they overcame a lot of penalties. One was the penalty to start off with on the kickoff. Then they got the penalty which was, that pushed them back even more. Then they got the penalty which was the false start. And then the other penalty right there at the goal line, which you think you're right there, you get pushed back, that can be really deflating and you can get down, or you can fight your way and fight through it and score, and that's exactly what the Roos were able to do.
So after the touchdown, we'll send it down to Chuck Licata on the sideline. Chuck.
So real quick, my favorite group today is definitely going to be the offensive line. You saw how they controlled the line. The one penalty that they had down near the goal line, coach was yelling, guys weren't in position, definitely not the offensive line's fault. But, hey, great job. And on that pass interference, the guy was tackling the receiver before the quarterback threw the ball. Truly a pass interference. And, of course, we get the touchdown. Guys?
Well, those shots from our camera people, the Ethan Squared team, showed that Maurice Hubbard truly didn't think that he even touched Michael Kress there in the end zone on that pass interference call. Shows you, depending on your perspective, you can have very different opinions of the same play. And the other thing I'll take from Chuck's comments is Coach White's doing a lot of screaming tonight because you could tell by how hoarse he was during that halftime interview. Spinning off of the Roos, now a flag's thrown.
Got a blindside hit. You can't hit somebody coming blindside.
And they ran about 25 yards to get about 4 on the return. And you're right, Kirk, there is a flag, and it should be against.
When the running back turned back the other way, Bryson McKnight was sitting there in the right position, closing in on him, and then it was a blindside hit on McKnight that took him out. Back in the day, those used to be legal, and that was one where you had to keep your head on a swivel if you're on that kickoff coverage team.
Have you ever been in that position? Were you on those teams?
I was very briefly, but I was too slow to be able to get down the field fast enough.
Fair enough. So Westgate Christian brings their offense back on the field. They've had about an hour rest in real time. 7:33 to go in the third quarter. And finally, Trey Williams back on the field in the shotgun. Two backs split to each side, and Williams is just going to run it, and he's got plenty of room up the 30, 40, 50. He may go all the way down to the 40, and he comes up lame, and now he goes down out of bounds, hamstring pulled, and they are signaling for the trainer. That's the starting quarterback for the Ravens, who looked like, well, I'm not going to say it, but he looked like Alan Rainey is the backup who's going to have to come in, because that did not look good. As 1 second he's cruising down the sidelines, and the next, Trey Williams looks like he had nothing left, and hopefully he's going to be okay, but that hamstring must have just
I've been in that position, and you run, and you feel like somebody shoots you in the back of the leg, and you just stop immediately, and that's exactly what happened to him. I've had that happen on the football field. Unfortunately, it's happened to me.
The pain must just be unbearable once you feel it.
It's unbearable. It's almost like somebody just shot your leg out, and you can't move it, and you feel immediate pain no matter what you do. And the fact that he was able to get 2 or 3 more yards after that was pretty impressive within itself.
I don't know that I've ever seen, though, in a live football game, a runner with that much room literally just stop on the field and basically give himself up and just go down. Like, you've got to be that hurt.
You don't have an option, right? Your leg
That's
just
what's
doesn't
crazy
work.
about what we just saw.
And unfortunately, that's excruciating pain for him, and you hate to see that for anybody.
It was a heck of a play. He had a huge hole through the Ruse defense. That was probably the biggest play I think that they've given up all night, yardage-wise, as the Ravens went from 125-yard line to the other. They're going to be at the 28. It was a 47-yard run before Williams was forced to go down. And while they're attending to him, we're going to take a quick break here on FloSports and Big Daddy Media. We'll be right back, and we'll check on the status of the Westgate Christian quarterback. We'll step aside here with Austin College leading 28-14. And welcome back to Apple Stadium. Trey Williams is up and at least limping back to the bench.
Which is a good sign. I mean, the fact that he's able to stand on it and move on it, it's actually a really good sign. A lot of times you can't put any pressure on that hamstring at all.
So now in at quarterback, handing it off to McCoy, who's going to run for about 7, is number 8, Alan Rainey, who's going to come in with absolutely no warm-up. It's got to be tough to just walk into a game that you were not expecting to come into. The starting quarterback's been playing great all night. You're standing there cold as Bluebell ice cream, and you're forced into action. And now the game's in your hands and you're down 2 touchdowns.
That's the life of a backup quarterback, though. So you've got to be ready. You've got to be ready at any given time to come in and play. And Randy got in last week, too, in the game he played. So he's got some experience.
Here he is carrying it to the right side, tackling Rainey before the first down marker is Cam Hammond, number 6.
Gain of 1 on 2nd and 4, brings up 3rd and 3 for the Ravens.
Last week, Rainey did get in just briefly, threw it, completed 4 passes out of 8, had 1 interception, also had a touchdown for a total of 67 yards. Ran it 3 times for 14. So he's got some experience out there. He knows kind of this offense, so we'll see what he's able to do here.
Here's a run, and it's McCoy again, first down yardage, but he wanted to break it for a touchdown, Kirk.
Yeah, he went up the middle again, and he's had some success just going right up that middle, especially in the red zone, right in that same area, where they've been able to kind of part that defensive line open and run right up the middle on the ruse. We got 95, Fernando Delgado sitting there. That's just, our big guy on their big guy.
1st and 10 at the 10, 1st and goal. Rainey takes the snap from the shotgun, fakes the handoff, rolls right, throws into the end zone, wide open, but it's tipped and knocked away by Kenneth Alexander at the last second. Kenneth Alexander had 10 tackles so far on the season and now 1 breakup. Critical time right there.
That was a great job. The quarterback actually faked the handoff, and everybody kind of bit on the handoff. He scrambled out a little bit. There was 2 receivers in the area and only 1 defender, and Sanders was able to come in and make that, or Alexander was able to come in and make that play.
That ball was wobbly and had a lot of air under it, let's say that. So 2nd and 10 now for Rainey. He goes under center, hands off to McCoy, and McCoy can't get past the defensive line, wrapped up by a whole stack of Kangaroos, and it's going to bring up 3rd down from the 10-yard line. The Ravens are going nowhere now that they're in the red zone.
Matias Martinez made a great play, hit him, slid down, held onto his legs, and let the rest of them kind of come in. And that, Coach White talked about got to make tackles, and he made the tackle there. Yeah, they gained a couple yards, but you'll give up a couple yards there. It's going to still be 3rd and long.
So 3rd and 10, down by 2 touchdowns. The backup quarterback is in the game. And Rainey, Malachi Darby is going to be offset to the right side. He's a receiver, and he's going to go out. They're going to throw it deep to the right side, and it's going to be a touchdown for the Ravens right in the front corner of the end zone.
That's that back shoulder pass. That's really hard to defend, and you've got Evan Dennis out there. He covered the fade perfectly.
And Dalen Robinson makes his 3rd catch of the night, and it goes for 6.
But when he throws that pass behind him, it's almost impossible for that defender to come back and get it. Now, he turned his head, just didn't get it turned around quick enough. Now
the sketchy kicking game for Westgate Christian. They've already missed 1 extra point and a field goal tonight. 28-20. This extra point does sail through the uprights, and so Villalobos tacks on the extra point to make it a 7-point game, and it's 28-21 as the Ravens answer the Austin College touchdown. So both teams have put 1 on the board here to start the 3rd period with 4:02 left. Austin College 28, Westgate Christian 21.
That's 2 long drives by both teams, so our defense should be well rested, and our offense should be well rested and ready to come back. Look for them to respond and see what they're able to do in this situation. Rouge are going to send number 18, Evan Dennis, back to receive this kick, as well as they're going to leave Jeremiah Johnson's not out there to receive it, so they're sending
Zion Stewart.
Yeah,
and
Zion Stewart and
Dennis.
looks like Evan Dennis back there to receive.
Let's make sure Johnson's okay when the offense comes back on the field. The offense standing with coordinator Amelia here on the left side of your screen, and the defense is all gathered on the right. And the kickoff by Villalobos is going to head to Zion Stewart, who slips, touches it, collects it at the 1. Now he's going forward to the 15, to the 20. He finds some room up to the 25 and the 32 before he's pushed out of bounds finally by the Ravens. And Chuck Licata, what do you have for us down on the field?
Yeah, and you were talking about Jeremiah Johnson. Yeah, he's down here on the sideline. Because of HIPAA rules, of course, we can't go into too much, but let's just say he's trying to work his way back, and just keep it at that for now, guys.
Well, that would be a big loss if he cannot return. Number one, trying to get back on the field. He has been one of the stars, if not the star of the show so far tonight. He is cheering on his teammates and is now walking with a pair of crutches. Handoff. Up the middle, it's John Rawls Thompson. Once again, he'll sneak forward for about 2 yards. And Zion Stewart, after that kickoff return, he gets a breather, and now he comes back in to run the ball behind Jalen Talton.
And because of the nature of this game, we might see some people who come out that maybe normally wouldn't come out, get some extra breathers, get some new guys in there, especially in this second half.
And then, so here's 2nd and 7. They give Thompson 3, and now Stewart's going to try and get the rest, spinning his way right at the first down marker. It looks like he may be just a yard, maybe a half a yard short. Stewart picks up 5, so it'll be 3rd down and 1 for Austin College as this running game continues to roll down the field.
Great job by that left side of the offensive line over there, just creating a big hole.
Talton hands off to Stewart, going right, sneaking through the holes and barreling into the defender and taking A.J. Scott with him for a 1st down, Austin College.
Good job there by Rhett Bestrel, the tight end, sophomore from Paris, Texas, on that block to spring him.
And unfortunately, it looks like that is the end of Jeremiah Johnson's night as pads are off, and he's walking with crutches now on the sideline. So that's a big loss for Austin College. J.R. Thompson carrying it, a tough load to bring down up the middle. Left side this time. They go left, they go right, they go up the middle. The Ravens know it's a run, but they can't stop it right now.
No, J.R. Rawls Thompson at 5'9", 170 just took the linebacker on, who's about 240. And the linebacker went down, and Thompson kept running, so he's not afraid to lower the shoulder and lay the wood.
Now he's got 8 carries, 34 yards, averaging more than 4 yards a touch, and he gets it again up the middle, 1st down yardage and more. He smartly goes down after he gets the 1st down, doesn't want to get hit in trouble, and now it's the John Rawls Thompson show and the Zion Stewart show. The 1-2 combination is really working here in the 3rd quarter.
This time when he came off the field, Coach White just gave him the high five, right? So that's what you want from your head coach. You don't want to...
I think he listened to him when he came off the field earlier in the 3rd quarter, and he's doing exactly what Coach wants.
Yeah, not delaying, just hitting the hole and going.
1st down, and finally the Turf Monster gets the ruse, and Zion Stewart goes down by the 12th defender as we tick towards a minute remaining in a fast-moving 3rd quarter that the Roos still lead by 7, the same margin that they led at the half.
Zion Stewart, when he runs, it's like he's barely even, his feet barely even touch the turf at all. He's like just hovering right above it, and that time it just kind of reached out and grabbed him.
45 seconds to go, 10 on the play clock. We haven't needed to mention that very often as this team's moving fast. Stewart up the middle, 3rd level, as now the Ravens are the ones not tackling, and Stewart pushing and shoving his way 9 yards on 2nd down. It's going to be a 3rd and 2, and not only are the Roos just running down the throats of the Ravens, but they are just tiring out this Westgate Christian defense at the point of attack.
Yeah, and Zion Stewart at 5'8", he just gets behind that offensive line and kind of hides. Those guys are so big behind him that he's able to kind of hide, and then the defense doesn't know where to look, and he's able to find the hole and cut up in there.
So we'll see the end of this drive at the start of the fourth quarter. Both teams get a touchdown in a fast-moving third quarter. Austin College 28, Westgate Christian 21. We'll have the final 15 when we come back after we hear from our good friend down on the field, Chuck Licata.
Comes down to, guys, what Coach told us right after halftime. The defense has got to tackle. They got to find ways. They're doing a good job pursuing, and I'll let Kirk just speak to this. I think the defense has adjusted, and they're containing the quarterback better, but we're still giving up too big of plays. Guys?
Yeah, I agree 100%. And actually, you nailed it because they actually put a spy in there. One of the linebackers is staying back and spying the quarterback, looking for anybody coming across the middle, and then also watching the quarterback if he decides to break containment and get outside the box.
As the lights have come on and darkness has settled in, I think we're also seeing the difference in depth in squad. You mentioned before the game as we were talking, this Westgate Christian team only comes to town with 50 players, and you can see their defense starting to tire here in the second half.
Yeah, they've got 25 offense and about 25 on defense, and they're subbing guys as quickly as they can, but the Roos are just running, pounding the ball right at them and just not and relentless. And then what they do is they get right back to the huddle, get right back on the line of scrimmage. Now they don't call the play till there's 10 to 5 seconds left, but they don't give them a chance to really regroup. Don't give them a chance to sub anybody in and out.
Because the one time they do, Talton's going to call a quick play and take it forward. After a first down run, the Roos get a new set of downs at the 25-yard line, and they're going to hand it off once again. Here's Zion Stewart. This time he's met right at the line of scrimmage. It's going to be no gain, and now Zion Stewart is going to come out. Guess who's coming back in? John Rawls Thompson, the 1-2 punch. Back and forth we go.
And I think we're in a situation here where we're probably Coach White's thinking 4-down territory, so maybe pick up 5 or 6 here and then go for it on fourth.
And I think Coach White is also trying to shorten the game here in the second half with this running attack working so well.
Well, it's working, so don't fix what's not broken.
Absolutely. So in the shotgun, handoff, Rawls Thompson stacked up at the line for a loss of 1. And that's the first time in a while that the Roos haven't gotten positive yardage.
Immediate flag as soon as the play was snapped. I thought it was going to be defensive offsides, and it sure was. So that's going to give us 5 yards and another play, which is a huge break for the Roos.
So that must be the reason why that wasn't positive yardage on that play?
Maybe so. maybe that's why there wasn't positive yardage, because he was already in the backfield. But
and injury timeout for Westgate Christian. Trayshawn Wiley goes down but hops back up right as the trainer gets to him. And both teams are going to go for a timeout. I thought the referee said that Westgate Christian called a timeout, but we'll see if it was given as an injury timeout or if that's one of their 3. They're going to bring him back out on the field of play and run the clock. So no official timeout taken, which the Ravens down by 7 and Austin College threatening. They're going to need them. Here's Talton with Rawls Thompson behind him, and now steps back to pass, going deep to the end zone. He's got Kress, who dives in the corner and just barely stretches and barely can't make the play. Just needed an inch more on those arms extended.
Yeah, Michael Kress at 6'1", just needed to be 6'2", I think, on that one.
Oh, so close.
I think he catches it. So
beautiful ball thrown there by Talton, too.
Yeah, but I love the effort, too. I mean, the effort was there by Kress and just gave everything he had to try to get it. But I like that call on second and short after the penalty. Go for it, because now you still have 2 plays to get the first down.
And so it's 3rd and 4 from the 24 after taking the shot, and Zion Stort's going to hop like a kangaroo down to the first down marker, and he's passed it for another Austin College first down.
Yeah,
down to the 15.
Like you said, he just hops and he just hovers over the ground and just gets right over him, and then his legs never stop moving. Even when he's in the air, his legs are still moving, kind of like the Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner.
That's what it is. He keeps that engine churning all the way until he's really brought down. So this drive hovering around 6 minutes. This is only the 3rd drive by either team this half, and we are 12 and a half minutes left in the game. This time it's Stewart straight ahead, barreling for 5 yards on first down, down around the 10-yard line, straight ahead. And right now, Dominic Solis makes the tackle, but the offensive line for Austin College is just doing yeoman's work right now, and they are getting a huge push off the snap every time.
Yeah, that my heart palpated just a little bit because I thought
Saw
the ball came out, but it was a helmet that came running out of there. Luckily, the head wasn't in it, so he's going to have to come out for a play.
Yeah, that would be a problem if it did. 2nd and 5 at the 10-yard line. Handoff going left. A little crossover move as Zion Stewart takes it down to the 6, and not quite a first down. They're going to take out Stewart and bring Thompson back in and see if he can maybe put one into the end zone. 15 years after his 61-year-old father did. Wouldn't that be a treat?
So, like I said, they're not going to fix what's working, right? So I'm
3rd and 1
here.
From the 6. I think you can count on a run, but Talton keeps it to the left side. He's got all the room in the world, and he jumps into the end zone for another ruse touchdown. 34-21, extra point pending. The Roos with a big offensive answer.
Was a flag came on the play, but I think it was after the fact.
Talton raises his hands. It's on the defense, and it's a score for Austin College. Their 5th touchdown of the game. Both possessions this half have ended in 6. And now Balderas comes on for his 5th extra point of the night. Mr. Automatic.
They're gonna make him back up for this one. He's gonna have to earn this one.
So it's gonna be a 20-yarder. His 8th extra point attempt of the season. He's 7 for 7 thus far. Up and through the uprights with more than enough distance. Tack it on, 35-21, 11:29 to go. All 3 possessions, 2 by Austin College, 1 by Westgate Christian, have ended in touchdowns. The issue for Westgate Christian, there's just not many possessions, it seems, left in this ball game. The way things are going, Austin College has had 2 really long possessions, and Westgate Christian held the ball for about 4.5 minutes themselves.
Yeah, they're going to try to go for the quick hitter, I think, here at some point, and trying to make up some ground. And then as far as Austin College defense is concerned, they're going to have to just keep containing them and keep containing the quarterback. Even though we got the backup quarterback in now, they're going to have to make sure that they keep him contained and don't let anybody go for that big one. Now, I'm not saying put in the prevent defense with 11:29 to go. Keep doing what you're doing.
I think you keep with what's working, and that run game is accomplishing 2 things. One, it's tiring out the defense and keeping the ball moving down the field, so keep going until it stops, until they can stop you. But also, it's shortening the game and just running clock continuously. And right now, the Ravens simply don't have an answer against this big old offensive line for Austin College.
No, offensively, they're going to have to start airing it out a little bit and trying to get some big plays.
And for Westgate Christian, their quarterback their starting quarterback, is out after he went down on the last possession. So the kickoff by Balderas brought forward to about the 37-yard line by Albert Sample, the third.
So they opted to have the penalty assessed on the kickoff. So Balderas had to kick a lot further back and wasn't able to get the kick as deep as he normally would like to. So that's how they were able to get the ball out to the 38-yard line as they did.
So here's the Austin College defense back on the field. Wouldn't a turnover be nice right about now? Alan Rainey, number 8, back in at quarterback. He's a tall kid.
And they're going to be a penalty on them. So all that yardage that they took for the
And
penalty,
this is a big one.
They just lost.
Was that a dead ball penalty? It's 15 yards, taking Westgate all the way back to their own 22. And it's going to be 1st and 10, so it must have been a dead ball penalty.
Wasn't much explanation.
No explanation. 3 receivers to the right, 2 to the left, empty backfield for Rainey. I think he's throwing to the left side. Plenty of cushion, complete for 5 yards as Austin College closes quickly. Marshall Majors, the tackle.
Hey guys, real quick on the play, you can tell there's frustration on the opponent's side because that was a clear tackle out of bounds, not necessary. Also, highly unlikely we'll see Jeremiah Johnson the rest of the game, guys.
Thanks, Chuck. Running up the middle, plenty of room is Alan Rainey, and if you're Austin College, you're going to have to put a spy on the quarterback right now here on defense.
Yeah, they came into a little bit of different defense there. They've got their nickel defense in there.
Here's McCoy up the middle doing what Rainey just did. He escapes a shoestring tackle and a second around the right side, and McCoy down past the 40 to the 38-yard line. And 2 plays yield about 35 yards for Westgate Christian. Actually, it's about 45 yards after that penalty, and they're moving the ball all the way into Rouge territory just like that.
Yeah, and the Rouge changed their defense, and it's exactly what I said.
Back
They
to the
don't want to do. They weren't necessarily in prevent. They're more of a nickel defense there, but they brought an extra defensive back.
Everything was working just fine. So here's Rainey, and if nothing else, you're at least making them burn clock to score. Rainey back to pass. Here comes the rush. Thrown deep. Intercepted by the Rouge. No flag on the play. And it's 1st down for Austin College. Easy Robertson makes the play. He does it the easy way from Plano West High School. I know a little bit about that. That's my children's alma mater.
Great job by Easy. He's in man coverage. Receiver turns and looks. He turned and looked. He got between the receiver and the quarterback and was able to make the play. There was some contact, but you're able to have contact when you're going for the ball and you're making a play on the ball. But unlike what happened for Westgate, is you can't go through the man to make the play on the ball, and that's not what he did. Good job there by Easy.
5'11" senior gets the ball back for Austin College. Up 2 scores. Under 10 minutes to play. Talton going to work some clock here with his running game, and here's Zion Stewart taken out of bounds and then shoved 5 yards out of bounds this time. And let's keep in mind what Chuck said during his last report. Westgate Christian, you can start to see the frustration build. Watch for these unnecessary late hits. Watch for the 15-yard type penalties. It's going to get a little chippy here towards the end of the game as Austin College is controlling the running game, controlling the clock. Westgate Christian just wants to get the ball back.
Yeah, and they're going to get a little frustrated here because, for one, you know, they're a young team too, right? They're really young. They're mainly all freshmen and maybe a couple sophomores, but this is only their 2nd season in football. So they've got a lot to learn, learning how to win and keep fighting through this kind of adversity.
This is a team that in the last 3 weeks has lost 42-7 to Schreiner, to Centenary, 59-34 to Schreiner, and last week 70-12 to a tough Northeastern State University. So they come in here And for the first time in a month, after their opening win of the season, which was against Louisiana Christian Community College, they've been competitive. And I think after the first quarter and a half, you would say the Ravens thought that they were going to come in here and steal a win from the Kangaroos. But this game has flipped on its head here in the last couple of quarters. And I think that, Kirk, is where the frustration is starting to build and why you're going to see it here in the next 9 minutes. Because I think Westgate Christian is realizing they may have let a win slip out away from them.
Well, they felt like they had a win, and they had a great opening drive, and then they felt like they were in a good spot. But Austin College has done exactly what they need to do. And, you know, defensively, like I said, they'd never seen much film or tape on this team, so they didn't know what to expect. They let them drive down the field and score. After that, they've been very good at trying to slow them down. They've still given them up a couple scores, but all in all, defense has done a pretty good job, and offense has done a great job. And if they can just keep running this clock, that's what the Roos need.
That's a good point. It just took a little longer for Austin College to get in a groove. It took them longer to figure this team out. 1st and 10 now at the 26, and finding a huge hole is Zion Stewart across the 50 to the 40. Can he go all the way? The 30 breaks a tackle down to the 15-yard line. Zion Stewart, and a little fisticuffs after the play, a little shoving with number 24 from Westgate Christian.
Zion Stewart gave a shimmy at the 25-yard line, and that is what broke and sprung him. And that was all him. It was one-on-one with the defense, with the linebacker. That little shimmy got him that extra 50 yards of that run.
I used to have that in my arsenal back in about 8th grade, but have lost it since. What a move by Zion Stewart. That puts him over 100 yards and well over 100 yards. They run it again to Stewart. He goes right side. Flag on the play, a holding. Zion Stewart does get in the end zone, but that is going to come back, and it's going to be a 1st and 20, and I think the Roos know it as well. Yes, holding on the offense. That hole was so big that there was no doubt that was a penalty on Austin College.
Every time the Roos have had a penalty, they've been on top of the guy. So I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if they're in a position to pancake somebody and they want to get the pancake, but in doing so, they're getting the hold, or if they're just holding them, pulling them down, and tackling them. I'm only seeing the end of it, so I'm not able to see the whole play.
And I also want to emphasize the point that you made that because it's not a SCAC conference game, these teams don't have to exchange tape. So Austin College did not have a lot of tape or any tape on this team coming in. Here's Zion Stewart coming to get most of that penalty yardage back on a 1st down run. And so they came into this game pretty blind. And as they figured out the scheme of Westgate Christian, they've learned it pretty well.
Yeah, you know, they were running that, so had some success with that wide receiver screen for a couple plays. And after that, the Roos figured it out and kind of blew it up. We haven't seen it since.
To the tune of now 311 yards on the ground.
And they're just going to keep doing it, right? Like you said, they're just eating clock.
42 yards. 42 carries, 311 yards, 7.4 yards per carry.
And that's devastating to the defense because it's exhausting.
Here's John Rawls Thompson taken down by big number 94. And finally, a tackle near the line of scrimmage. It's going to bring up 3rd and 8 after a gain of about 4. And we don't have a 94 on our roster. He may have joined the team at halftime. Coming off the bus. So 3rd and 9 now from the 15. We tick down to 6.5 minutes, and Westgate Christian can't do much but look and watch the seconds tick off the clock. Talton hands it off. Rawls Thompson, he's going to be stopped short of the 1st down. Pushing and shoving, and the Ravens are going to give Austin College a free 1st down.
So when you're talking about where that player just came from, when Austin College played their first football game in 1896, they played Texas A&M just up the road from here. And before the game, they noticed one of the A&M players was actually a professor, and they went and said, hey, that's not the rules. The rules say that you can't play, has to be a student, you can't play with professors. A&M pointed out that rule only applies east of the Mississippi, and we happen to be west of the Mississippi. So Austin College had to agree and play with the rules. Austin College ended up losing that game, and that player was the player of the game, by the way.
I promise I did not set Kirk up for that. This guy is a institution of Austin College knowledge. Wow. What a great story. And what another great penalty. Undisciplined action there by Westgate Christian. It would have been 4th down and probably an Austin College field goal to put them up by 3 scores. But instead, they're going to be able to run more time off the clock and try and run this into the end zone. And number 28, John Rawls Thompson, is going to stay in the game and try and get his first touchdown. As actually they go 2 running backs for the first time, Zion Stewart and Rawls Thompson in the game at the same time.
I don't know what that formation is, but it's kind of your big package, but they're using that at the 6-yard line, a little far out to be using it, but they're not afraid to just bully them and push them around.
Carry by Stewart, wrapped around, spun around, and tackled. It's going to be 2nd and goal coming up for Austin College, but even more importantly, that's going to be able to take another 30 seconds off the clock.
Yeah, that penalty cost them more than points. It cost them time, and time is one thing they don't have enough of. They do still have all 3. Both teams have all 3 of their timeouts, plus there is the 2-minute warning timeout.
That was a big interception that started this drive for Austin College. This drive started at the 9:55 mark, and Zion Stewart tries to hop in again, but he's stopped by the Ravens just shy of the end zone. It's going to be 3rd down and goal.
Did his best, Saquon Barkley, but just couldn't get high enough. Zion Stewart just not quite tall enough to be able to get over some of those guys, but a good effort nonetheless.
A couple inches and about 30 pounds, and he would be of the size and strength of Saquon Barkley. So Rawls Thompson comes back in. It's 3rd down and goal from the 1. Austin College tries to punch it in and punch in the game as they look to seal it here with just over 4 minutes to go as they try to go up by 3 scores. Full backfield, Talton in the shotgun, hands it off. Zion Stewart stopped short, taken down at the 3-yard line. It's going to bring up 4th down and goal. And a timeout is called by Westgate Christian. So that unnecessary roughness penalty costs 3 more plays, about another minute off the clock, maybe a little bit more. And it looks like Austin College is still going to settle for the 3 points. If Balderas makes the field goal, Austin College goes up 3 scores, 17 points. And it's going to be 3 touchdowns or 3 scores needed for Westgate Christian to get back on top in this game.
Yeah, it's a smart play. It's not the play you want to see.
You want the touchdown.
But it's the smart play. We want to see the light show again. But I get why he's doing it, and it's the cerebral play, and that's what you got to do, and make it a 3-score game.
When you're looking for your first win of the season, you got to play the numbers. And after talking to Coach White this week, he knows this team, more than anything, doesn't need any more moral victories. This team needs a win in the standings or in the scorebook. Balderas, 20-yard field goal. It's an extra point. He's perfect on the season. It's up and it's good. Somebody may have jumped. Did they call it? No. Are the Kangaroos up by 3 scores? Yes. Austin College 38. Westgate Christian 21. The biggest lead of the game with only 4:13 remaining. A big turnover leads to a big drive that started with 9:55 on the clock. It's more than 5 minutes off the clock. 9 plays, 86 yards. All on the ground.
Yeah, all offensively, Austin College has only averaged 14 points a game. So, They're 24 points over what their average is, and there's still 4 minutes to go in this game. Defensively, we've given up some plays, but they've had that bend and don't break. Yeah, they've given up a couple long drives and a touchdown, but to their detriment, they've let them eat the clock up, which has hurt the Westgate offense.
Zion Stewart on that drive went over the 200-yard mark for the night, 28 carries, 215 yards and a touchdown. Talton, 7 carries, 54 yards and a touchdown. And John Rawls Thompson in his first carries of the season and his career, 12 carries, 51 yards, 4.3 yards per carry. Kickoff by Balderas, taken and advanced by Westgate Christian. Number 5, taking it forward. And playing the second half, that was Quest Simmons. But for Austin College, playing on offense without Barrett Hudson, your leading rusher, your senior, and now playing the most of the second half without Jeremiah Johnson, who basically dominated the first half, scoring 2 touchdowns, and you're still able to score 17 unanswered here is pretty strong. Not 17 unanswered. It was, I'll get that for you in a second.
Well, when we talked to Coach White a couple weeks ago, and he said some of his offensive linemen were hurt, but it was next man up, and that's exactly what it's been tonight. It's next man up, and you've got to be able to come in and play with adversity, have some guys that aren't out, have some guys fill some holes, and you have that every game. So you've got to be able to do that, whether it's your starting running back, your starting wide receiver, or your starting, defensive tackle or offensive lineman.
Long throw by Rainey, and this one's picked off as well by Evan Dennis. We've been calling his name a lot this half. A second interception, the third turnover for the Rouge defense, and that's going to put a nail in the Westgate Christian coffin, if I can speak, tonight. And it's going to be the first win. Austin College is going to sleep soundly tonight. As I was saying a minute ago, Austin College was down 14-7. They've scored 24 of the last 31 points to take this 17-point lead with just under 4 minutes to go.
Yeah, and that's just they've just taken over the game, and they found something that's worked. They wore Westgate Ravens down. The offensive line gets the credit here, and just wearing them down, and it's slowly just kind of what was 2 yards turned into 3. Now it turns into 4.
Then turns into 10. Zion Stewart racked up at the line of scrimmage, and we probably haven't given enough credit to this offensive line. Javon McGowan, Jack Nelson, Trevor Timmerman, Felix Flores, and Tristan Dobney across the front. Didn't play a great first quarter maybe, but since then have absolutely dominated this line of scrimmage and taken over the game, to the tune of 447 total yards here for the Kangaroos, as they have expanded their lead to 17. Talton hands it off. Stewart does a little razzle-dazzle, but not fooling the Ravens defense. On a 2nd and 10, no gain. It's going to be 3rd and 10. The only thing he's hurting is his rushing average.
Yeah, and we talked to Coach this week, and one of the things he's doing here, he came in here with a team that had won 1 game the year before he got here, and hadn't won many games at all the seasons before that even. So a lot of these kids are not only new, but the ones that are seniors, they haven't won a lot of games. And trying to create a culture of winning, you've got to win to start it. And this is a game that he can use as a springboard to kind of generate and start that culture that he wants to bring in and change the mindset of these kids.
John Rawls Thompson, the sophomore, up the middle for the first down, and Austin College is going to be able to run out the clock from here unless Westgate Christian decides to use their timeouts down by 17.
And I think what Coach White told John Rawls Thompson was run hard. I think he was kind of a little timid running in the hole in those first 2 drives that he had, and I think that caused him to not get as much yardage as he wanted to. But what we've seen after that little talk he had with Coach White on the sideline, he's just putting his head down and running, and he's getting yards and he's getting hit, but he's not stopping and bulldozing right through this defensive Ravens defense.
And John Rawls Thompson, he's going to sleep good tonight as well. Coming in for Barrett Hudson, filling in as that backup running back tonight. And this is a great win in their final tune-up before the conference season starts next week right here at Apple Stadium as Centenary comes calling. The Gents beat this same Westgate Christian team 42-7. So next week, I think maybe if you use the transitive property, maybe a pretty even game.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a pretty even matchup next week, and I think we'll have all of our guys at full speed. Hopefully, we can get offensively, we'll be able to get Jeremiah Johnson back. Hopefully, it's just precautionary why he's taken out tonight, resting. Obviously, Barrett Hudson out resting.
John Rawls Thompson again, and look at that jersey. That is the jersey of a man who's been through a battle tonight. Number 28, John. Look at his teammates huddling around John Rawls Thompson. 13 carries, 54 yards. And the 2-minute timeout is upon us. It's going to be a 2nd down and 1 for Austin College and a 1st down here with the 1 Ravens timeout left. Will, for all intents and purposes, end the game.
Yeah, I think it puts it away. I think, I don't see the Ravens at that point calling their timeout. If they decide to, that's maybe they do just to talk it over, but I think the Roos can put it away right here with the 1st down.
So stay tuned for the post-game show, the Kangaroos post-game show. Chuck Licata is going to have an interview with Coach White right after the game as Talton goes down after almost fumbling the snap. And that's the other thing, Kirk. Austin College only turned the ball over that once in the first half with that fumble, but they got it back, and they've gotten 2 interceptions tonight, their first 2 of the season.
And the fumble that they got right here at the end of the half was really huge.
They've turned them into points.
Cam Hammond forced it, yep.
And at this point, Westgate Christian's going to let the clock run. We're under 90 seconds. 38-21, 3rd down and 1 from the 31. Zion Stewart up ahead in the middle, 1st down, and that will conclude things tonight. And Austin College fans, you're going to go home happy tonight.
Going to get to see our favorite formation hopefully here in just a second. Right now, we should see it for 2 straight plays.
And you can see the offense giving a nod to the fans here tonight. A good home crowd on this late September evening at Apple Stadium. Austin College puts in a full game effort, and they're going to get rewarded with their first victory of the 2025 season. A well-earned victory, 38-21, after a couple of kneel downs upcoming. Victory formation, the best play in football if it's your team doing it, executing it. And I'm not sure in the first half that we would have thought that this game was going to end with Austin College in the victory formation.
We were hoping it was going to end that way, and that's exactly what we got. But a great effort by Austin
Took a little
College.
while to get there.
Took a while to get there, but we kind of felt that momentum change that the last 4 minutes of the, second quarter.
Talton takes a knee. He'll do it one more time before we close this one out. Chuck's going to talk to Coach White, hopefully a happy Coach White after this game. Hopefully he still has a voice. Hands, some sportsmanship being shown after these two teams did battle tonight.
See if we can get something other than coaches, your typical coaches speak of we need to tackle and we need to block, right? So hopefully
He loves talking about tackling. That's for sure. It's his bugaboo, I think, his pet peeve.
It's the go-to for most coaches speak, right?
Talton takes a knee, and the Kangaroos take a victory. They beat Westgate Christian tonight by the final score of 38-21 for their first win of the season as they get ready for conference play, which starts next week right here at Apple Stadium at 6 p.m. 1 week from tonight. The Centenary Gents come calling, and we will have it right here on FloSports and Big Daddy Media. We hope you'll join us. Chuck Licata.
He's hamming it up with the players down there. He's having a good time now.
Chuck may be part of the team here before we're done. And I think we're going to talk with John Rawls Thompson's dad after we hear from Coach White. If we can get Coach White. Coach White may have forgotten about this interview.
I think Coach White's going to talk to the players first.
And Chuck, we'll take it down to you. You're having fun down there, Chuck.
All right, so here's what's going on. Coach White's going to talk to the team. We're going to try to get him. We're definitely going to talk to Coach Thompson and player J.R. Thompson. So stand by. It's going to take a couple minutes, okay? I just want to say, too, I gave kudos to the broadcast crew. I'm so thrilled. I just talked to Michelle Fylander, talked to Coach President Day, who, by the way, is this is his last year with the school. We're efforting one of those two next week at halftime during the game because, of course, Brian will be gone, so I'll do play-by-play. We're going to effort one of those two at halftime. The other one will do the next game at halftime. So we're going to get as much Austin College as we can here. But in the meantime, I'm going to go down, chase down Coach, so give us a couple minutes, okay? I'll be right back with you.
We'll fill the time, Chuck. Don't worry. So Chuck's doing extra duty work downstairs. We definitely want to hear from the coaches. And until then, Kirk, why don't you go over some of the statistics from tonight's game? They're definitely started off with Westgate Christian, but ended up Austin College sort of dominating.
Yeah, and statistics are great, and I got them all right in front of me, and it's good, but what you really saw was after the game, as the players were lining up, you could see this exuberance from the players. They were kind of hopping around a little bit, a little pep in their step. What we saw after the last game when they walked up the field, they played their hearts out, right? And their heads were down a little bit, and they felt like they gave everything they had, and they just still came up short. After the game, I went over to where the players are after the game. After Coach White talks to them, and their parents are over there. Some of them are just bawling. They gave everything they had, and they still didn't come away with a loss. They still came away with a loss, and that happens sometimes. But you have to learn from that. And I think they were able to harness that tonight, and they never quit. They got down early, and it could have been really easy to put your head down and go, here we go again. Instead,
it's the same old.
Instead, they take the ball back for 85 yards for a touchdown on the kickoff return. Then the defense steps up, stops them. Offense gets the ball, and then the offense sputtered a little bit. But like we said, with about 4 minutes left in the second quarter, the offense figured it out. Bam, touchdown. Guess what? The defense makes a play, gets the turnover. Bam, touchdown again, and Austin College is in business. And then they get the ball back second half and take the ball and drive down the field and score again. So that was 3 straight scores for the Roos.
And if you look at their faces tonight, tells a completely different story. And at the end of the day, moral victories only take you so far. At some point, you have to get a victory on the scoreboard to keep these kids invested, to keep them playing hard and into the program. Remember, these are 18, 19, 20-year-old kids at the end of the day.
Yep, and student athletes. And what you got to realize is this is secondary to their
real job.
Their real job, which is school, and this is not an easy school either. So you've got to learn how to win, and I think tonight they learned how to win, and that's huge. They learn how to win here in the football kids are going to learn how to win off the field too.
And that is an exuberant bunch of Austin College Kangaroos celebrating their first win of the season. And as we look for Chuck down on the field, let's see if he has Coach with him. He does not. Oh, there he is. Chuck's looking.
But now these guys are going to go off to their specialty coaches and let their specialty coaches kind of tell them and give them a final talk, what they did good, what they need to work on. Always room for improvement, a lot to learn from, not only the win, but what comes next, because like you said, next week we start conference.
And that's when the games start really counting. And to get a win before that takes place, absolutely, I think, of the utmost importance, as you're going to have a much more focused, more determined, better mental attitude going into a week of practice this week than you would coming in off of 3 straight losses to start the season.
Yeah, and to get into the stats, like you said, passing-wise, Jalen Talton, 125 yards, 2 touchdowns. Zion, receiving-wise, Michael Kress led the Roos with 3 receptions, 76 yards, and the touchdown. Jeremiah Johnson, that 1 catch, 41 yards and a touchdown. Zion Stewart, 1 catch, 8 yards. But rushing-wise, it was Zion Stewart, 31 carries. 31 carries.
Unreal.
That's a lot. It doesn't matter what level you're at. That's a lot of carries. And 222 yards. You're talking about Zion Stewart, who's 5'8", 175 pounds wet, right? So that's taking a beating over and over. He will definitely sleep good. 1 touchdown. His longest was 58. And then, of course, John Rawls Thompson, who had 14 attempts for 70 yards. Huge day for him in his opening debut for the Roos. Defensively, as far as tackles concerned, it was Cam Hammond, Pablo Cantu, and Kenneth Alexander.
And so we'll send it down to Chuck, who's got, I wanted to say the Thompson twins, but it's Thompson Sr. and Thompson Jr., who are both enjoying a great night tonight. So, Chuck, take it away.
I want you guys to know, see that guy on the right, the goofy one, Brian? He said, well, I wanted to send it down to Chuck and the Thompson twins, but that's not quite.
No, it's not. Move it on.
All right. Hey, John Rawls Thompson, obviously, and, of course, Coach Tom Thompson. John, let's talk about your game. First ever college carry. Well, I'll tell you what. You reminded me, and I'm going old school. You'll know who I'm talking about. You reminded me of Mercury Morris out there. You're tough, you're bullish, and you will find a way to get some holes. Congratulations on a great effort tonight.
Thank you. I appreciate it. The guys up front, they make it happen. I just follow them, and then it's the rest,
It's funny. I was talking during the game. I was talking about how the guys were taking accountability, especially the offensive line, and they were saying on that sack where they lost the ball, they said, that's us, that's on us. And they said, after a touchdown, they said, this is what we're supposed to do. You can tell the offensive line guys were definitely holding themselves accountable.
Yes, sir. No, they're great. They're great. The 5 guys up front, they're all great. They do their jobs. Even when it goes bad, they take it up for it, and then they just go to the next play and execute it. What
about your dad right here? Oldest player to ever score a point in NCAA history back in 2009. We won't give away his age, but that's okay. But I'm 64, just so you know. I'm an old man too. But, what a piece of history you have right here for your dad.
No, he's great. I definitely wouldn't be here with him. And my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Without them, too, I wouldn't be here. He's helped me work so hard. Without him, I definitely would not be here.
And how much does the effort for the overall team mean tonight?
We got some stuff to clean up for conference play next week, but we did a great job of executing in the second half. But we'll clean those up for next week for sure.
And look forward to seeing you on the field again for sure.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, let's talk to Tom. And Tom, man, talk about what your heart was feeling as 28 went out in the field and then got that first carry.
Well, needless to say, I was very proud. But I've watched him from the time he was a little kid playing this game of football. He was 4 years old, and he would sit in his room by himself and watch a football game by himself. Yeah, and he was always the smallest, skinniest little kid in youth football. And then he worked his way through middle school, and then he played pretty hard in high school, but then got injured, and he didn't get to really play a lot.
Oh, okay.
And he was, he wasn't sure if college was going to be where he could end up playing football. But they offered him a not a scholarship, but a position here to play, and so he feels that God put him here, and he's blessed being here, and I'm beyond blessed watching him play. I actually had a daughter come through here as well, and she was a cheerleader, so I've been blessed to have 2 kids on the sidelines while I'm here.
Oh my goodness. So was my assessment of Mercury Morris, is that about right? Was I close?
He's not that fast. Not that fast, but he's got the heart of Mercury.
Okay.
Because I get that.
I love a guy that calls me out. No, he's not that fast. Come on, man.
Well, but he loves the game, and you can tell he loves to hit. And as far as him getting hurt, it's going to take a cramp to get him on the ground. And so, anyway, his mom and I are just thrilled beyond measure that he's here. And I'm the kicking coach, of course, so I don't get to interact with him too much while I'm here. I don't get to see.
I did see a fist bump there in the third quarter.
Yeah, well, if he brought it to me, then I can do it. Because it's funny. We made a pact, if you will, that I wasn't going to call him by his first name when we're out here during practice and stuff, and he was going to always call me coach. So I'd call him 2-8, and he called me coach. And we've been able to let him kind of have his own, experience here. Right. So it's been great.
Hey, real quick, he got his first carry. He got the experience that moment. Talk about that moment in 2009 as you lined up.
Honestly, it was, I didn't expect it. Coach Gage was an old school coach, and he's only going to put you out there if he knew you could do it. And they called me out there to tie the game against Trinity, for goodness sakes, early in the second quarter. So it wasn't a mercy kick. And it was really an amazing thing. As soon as I hit the field, everything went white noise. I didn't hear anything. I just went out there, I got my spot, did my takeaways. The ball, when it came back, was sideways on the ground.
Oh, my goodness.
And the holder was put in because the coach had kicked some guys off the team for violating team rules. So he was, he didn't kind of know what to do, but at the last minute, he popped that ball straight up. And I said in my head, I've come this far, I'm going to kick a football. And it went through. So anyway, it's just one of these neat things that wasn't a bucket list goal. It ended up being a quality of life goal, because this is my 16th season of helping Austin College with their football program, and it's truly a blessing.
Well, Coach Thompson, enjoyed it. 2-8, enjoyed it, man. Great game. Enjoy, man. All right, thanks, guys. Hey, real quick, before I hand it up to you, I just want to mention that Thompson twins, man. That was hilarious. I love that. That was so good. And thanks. And we talked about the crew. Kirk, man, you inherited us. And I hope that we have, stepped things up for you. And I hope you're comfortable with us. It was such a great moment to be on the sidelines tonight, patrolling, knowing what 2-8 was doing and what kind of history Coach Thompson had. And we thank you. We salute you. We're thrilled to have you. And by the way, I'm looking forward to doing booth work with you next week. And guys, and of course, Zach and Ethan, guys, you're the best. So love working with y'all. Thank you.
Thanks, Chuck. Awesome work down there tonight. You definitely got your workout for sure. Kirk, some last thoughts, and then we'll hang it up for the night.
You know what? I think
does it all.
That pretty much says it all.
That was cool.
I think at the end of the day, that's just a really cool moment between just not only a father-son, but just kind of the history of Austin College. There's so much history that goes into this athletic program in football and baseball and all the sports, but that's just a really neat thing. I'm glad we were able to share it to everybody.
So a couple of thank yous before we head out. Ethan Kirstein, Ethan Proctor, amazing ISOs tonight, showing us the beauty of camera work. Sarge, Emilio Juarez, we couldn't have done it without you either. The QA tonight, you've been amazing all weekend long. We love you. Chuck Licata down on the field, of course. Zach, our amazing producer, Zach Holmes, just absolutely owning the board up here. And Kirk Hughes, my man up here. We have gotten to know each other over these couple of games, and what a blessing's worth of knowledge you are. I have enjoyed it thoroughly and can't wait to be back up here in a few weeks with you. I appreciate all your hard work getting ready for these games. With that, we're going to go celebrate an Austin College win as well. A thank you to Jeff Kelly. A thank you to Michelle Feilander, the AD here, and everybody associated with this Austin College program. A great night to be a Kangaroo as Austin College celebrates a victory for the first time in 2025. They win it going away 38-21 over Westgate Christian. We'll be back 1 week from tonight right here at Apple Stadium. It's the Roos and the Centenary Gents. We hope you'll join us here on FloSports and Big Daddy Media. For Kirk Hughes, I'm Brian Scott saying so long and good night.